What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the stream. We're live once again with the T5S2 Season 7 Invitational. Bit of an impromptu one this time around. And we are, in fact, moving on to the round of 8. My overlay's wrong, chat. Let me fix that real quick. But this stream was not scheduled beforehand, so this one was literally, I think, scheduled by the players very last minute, so much so that they haven't even put their names in the score sheet yet. But we do have, over here in the red, we have Anomander returning with his Space Wolves versus, in the blue, Zach with Aeldari.
Let's leave them there, and then you can like take.
Let me just fix my my overlay here. That's gonna bother me for the entire stream if I don't do it right now. All right, here we go. Done. Boom. Yeah, so these players, we watched their games over the weekend. Zach's game against Dudes yesterday, a very convincing win with the Aeldari against Necrons, and he was able to take that one down, playing a relatively cagey game by hanging out and just locking in those secondary missions, scoring to some primary objective points, and using the maneuverability of the Wraith Knight to dominate his opponent. Anomander over here with a exciting win against Genestealer Cults, one of the two Space Wolf players to beat Genestealer Cults in the round of 16. But we'll see if he can continue that on against another one of the top-tier factions of Warhammer 40k with his goodest boys over here, these wonderful Thunderwolf Cavalry. Big thanks to our sponsors as well for the T5S2 Season 7 Invitational. Delta Studios is a purveyor of all manner of super cool, full-scale weapons, war gear, and other accessories for a wide variety of sci-fi universes, including Warhammer 40k. So you can get things like bolt guns and chain swords from them shipped directly to your house, and then you can have your own bolt gun and or chainsword with which to smite the enemies of the Emperor. We also have GameMat.eu, which you can get a wide variety of tabletop accessories, including double-sided neoprene mats and 3D resin terrain that is pre-painted and looks gorgeous. And in fact, you can use alongside some terrain mats from our third sponsor here, our fourth sponsor here, 3D6 Wargaming, who makes additional neoprene accessories like objective markers and terrain templates. Last but certainly not least, Magnet Baron, that you can get magnetization kits for. And I will remind you as well, use coupon code TT10 over here at GameMat.eu, you get 10% off, and Tactical10 at Delta Studios, you get 10% off over there, which is a big savings. So big thanks to them for supporting the show this season, and thanks everyone for jumping in some late night 40k. I know Anomander is I think pretty tired. He's in the European time zone and is burning the midnight oil to get this game in, but glad that he could hop onto it. Zach was ready to go, raring to play, and so these guys got stuck in as quickly as possible. Why does Dudes look like a space wolf? Dudes is, in fact, not a space wolf. So, let's talk about the players list real quick here. We have seen both of these lists in action. We'll talk about Zach's Aeldari. That is the most recent list that we've seen. Just get these guys to start their clocks if they are deploying.
Lancer a bit like this, so you can't see him through this angle.
Just don't forget to
yeah, you need to be really aggressive to see him here.
Yeah, I'll offer general warning about towering, maybe more easy to see him if it comes up. But yeah,
just don't forget to start your clocks, you guys, if you're
oh yeah.
Cool. Yep.
I am blue, pretty sure.
Already.
All right, so he is running an Autarch Wayleaper as the Warlord in order to generate some command points. A Farseer with the Phoenix Gem, the Incarn, as well as 3 Hornets with Aeldari missile launchers, bit of a concession to Genestealer Cults and other heavy infantry factions. They're able to fire either a Strength 10 AP2 D6 damage missile, crack missile profile, or a D6 shot frag missile profile with Blast, and with 2 of those, they're able to clear a bunch of infantry if they need to. We also have a Night Spinner, 5 Shadow Specters, 2 units of 5 Shadow Specters, I should say, 3 support weapon D cannon platforms, 2 units of Warp Spiders, 5 in each, and a Wraith Knight. And we saw Zach put a ton of effort into making that Wraith Knight as dangerous as possible in his previous game. And we'll see if he is going to be able to do so this game as well. Probably a little bit less fortuitous terrain. And we do have these Gladiator Lancers over here on Anomander's side. So a little bit of a danger to that thing. It's not really going to be able to run the board as effectively as it did against Necron Warriors. That's going to have to deal with some big laser destroyer shots. Moving over to Anomander's list. And by the way, chat, if you want to follow along with me, you can get the lists at tts40k.com/invitational by checking the video description or by putting !lists into the chat. We have a Primaris Librarian with Bolter Discipline, so this guy's going to be attaching to this big Desolator squad. There they are. So he gives them a 4+ invulnerable save, so enemy counter battery is not going to be quite as effective. Although, in fairness, that's actually not that relevant in this situation because we are firing a Night Spinner at them, which isn't really going to bump up against that invulnerable save anyway. And it is going to be inflicting a lot of its damage with devastating wounds. So that invulnerable save, unfortunately for Anomander, not super useful in this game. I think he would be much happier taking a Primaris Apothecary, potentially, to respawn those Desolators when they're killed. But that guy is a caddy for Bolter Discipline, so he's going to give them Sustained Hits 1, and once they flip into Devastator Doctrine, they turn into Sustained Hits 5. And because this is playing in Gladius Task Force, he can, for 1 command point, use Adaptive Strategy to flip the unit into Devastator Doctrine for 1 CP any round that he wants to. So those guys are able to do an immense amount of damage, even to heavily armored vehicles. Even this Wraith Knight's going to have to deal with them. If he also uses Storm of Fire on them, he can give them 1 AP, ignore cover, and Sustained Hits 5. He's winning basically all these vehicles on 6s, and then at AP 1, no cover, they're going to be saving on 4s or so, and actually can put a pretty significant amount of damage, especially alongside that 2 damage Venger launcher that's in the unit as well. So even not only the small infantry squads, which it looks like we have strategic reserved an immense amount of stuff to protect them from the Desolators. Both Warp Spider units in reserve for Zach, plus 2 Shadow Spectre units, plus 3 D-Cannon support weapon platforms, plus the Farseer. So not even rocking Fortune on his Wraith Knight on the first turn. He's so afraid of that indirect fire that it's just going to get killed, and then Phoenix Gem, and then get killed again. And I think that's very fair. So he's basically trying to remove as many targets as those Desolators could possibly have from contention. We also have 2 Wolfguard battle leaders on Thunder Wolves. These guys are pretty nuts. We saw them do some insane work in his Anomander's last game against Danny P, where they were able to use reactive moves to engage Acolyte and Neophyte hybrids on inopportune turns and prevent the Genestealer Cult Army from doing crippling damage to them with shooting attacks. We then have 2 Wolf Lords on Thunder Wolves, 1 with the Honor Vehement to give him additional attacks and strength. We have that big Desolator squad in the other datasheet section, 2 Gladiator Lancers, like we mentioned, 2 Inceptor squads, 1 with Plasma, 1 with Assault Bolters, 1 Infiltrator squad to protect the Desolator Brick from Deep Strikers, as well as a Scout Bike squad, a Scout Sniper squad, and 2 big units of 6 Thunderwolf Cavalry to go alongside all those other Thunderwolf characters. So right now, it's going to be really a question of... it seems like Zach is really committing as hard as he can to try to reserve in and deal with the Desolation squad later on. It looks like we are trying to make it as difficult as possible for that Desolation squad to get touched by the Night Spinner. That thing does have a pretty good profile, knocking out the Desolation Marines, and because there's so much invested in this unit doing maximum damage, every single Desolator that gets killed is going to be a big loss. And unfortunately, they don't have a great profile at shooting back at the Night Spinner, since it does outrange them. Only the Venger launcher in the unit fires 48 inches, which is the same distance that the Night Spinner's Doomweavers fire. And with a 2 damage attack with Devastating Wounds, it is going to have a pretty good shot at knocking a bunch of those Desolators down if it gets to shoot. Otherwise, I think it's going to be a game of whether or not Zach can get his strategic reserves in range. The D-Cannon platforms shooting into that Desolation squad will actually do a bunch of damage. That is where the 4+ invulnerable save from the Primaris Librarian will come into play against non-devastating hits from the D-cannon platforms, but because they do blast and they can potentially do devastating wounds, we could see them still wreak a great toll of Desolators, which would be unfortunate. But with those Infiltrators able to screen out quite a bit, with the Scout Snipers as well able to screen out, and potentially even the Scout Bikers, we can take up a lot of real estate on Anomander's side, preventing the Eldar from deep striking in.
Solitaire over the battlefield.
How are we feeling about this game today so far, chat? I think it's going to be a pretty exciting one. I am excited to see the Desolators into Eldar. I know a lot of Eldar players are really sort of upset about this unit, but obviously the inclusion of that Night Spitter in the Space Wolf list is going to make it, or excuse me, not the Space Wolf list. They wish. In the Eldar list is going to make it a lot easier for them to whittle that unit down, if they can reroll into some devastating wounds. Looks like we're just going to be putting the Thunderwolf Cavalry on the line. They are a boatload of wounds, so if the Wraith Knight doesn't get too many devastating wounds on them, it's actually going to have a tough time punching through all these models, since it can only kill 2-ish on each individual shot. But the problem is that if it does roll a big amount of devastating wounds, it is going to kill a bunch of guys. The other downside is that if the Night Spinner elects to shoot into those models, which I'm not sure it will, but it could, then it can prevent them from advancing, and so we don't get the benefit of the Gladius Task Force benefit of Assault Doctrine to advance and charge with those models. But with the reactive move, they can push up the table pretty far.
So basically you have something like here with fly. Yeah, that's good. The first unit there.
Cool. I will place a final Hornet. We will just check out what this line is. Right there. I'll have you hang out behind it. If you catch my meaning, right there. Just make sure he cannot be seen from that line. If you want to shoot, you got to shoot from over here.
You can't redeploy, right?
I cannot redeploy, that's correct.
Yeah,
Oh, is it over to me?
No. I'm still.
Oh,
Why is it?
okay.
Oh.
Sending him to Hornet jail? Yeah, that's probably what's going to happen for sure. Space Wolves 2 OP chat, definitely. Please nerf. Space Wolves too strong, needs nerfs. So real question is where this Wraith Knight ends up going, I think. Looks like we are trying to determine where the Hornets can shoot.
There couldn't be a line, so you need to be more in the middle to shoot them. With
Yeah,
Hornets.
I can't do through this. I'd have to be out here.
Cool.
Yeah, so I will say, I think besides the towering unit, I would say this terrain's actually very good for Anomander. We do have these ruins in the center, thanks to we're on USO Layout 3. Toontown in the T5S2 Season 8 map pool. We do have ruins in the center that are ruin line of sight blocking, but not true line of sight blocking. I mean, aside from a little teeny bit on the side here. But those are traversable by the Thunderwolf Cavalry. So any Hornets that move into the center of the table are going to have to Phantasm or Fire and Fade back out. Otherwise, they will most likely be pecked to death or nuzzled to death by adorable dogs. It looks like the Wraith Knight is going to probably poke behind the wall here. I wonder if Zach is going to deploy it aggressively with the intent that he will Phantasm it out of danger if the Gladiators elect to push forward aggressively.
If like this guy moves, what's his speed? Speed 12? No. 10.
10.
Can he advance and shoot? How? Anyhow?
Whom? Oh, the gladiator. Yeah, with the devastator queen.
With deficit destruction. Gotcha. So like this thing right there. Kind of always difficult to tell what's going on with that because of no longer towering. Makes everything confusing. So I think he's back here.
All right, I put up a chat. I put up a poll chat. How do we feel? How are we feeling about this game?
I think we'll do that. Cool. Yep, that's me.
And the gladiator. Second on. Something like here, not the other side of the.
I guess I should have asked. Do you have redeploys?
No.
Just a pregame move off the scout bikers, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I have no pregame moves or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. Otherwise, I could put him down there. The hornets can see me down there in the corner. Didn't they?
Yeah, you gotta root for the underdogs. Am I right, chat? What a joke.
I can put him here. But you can see him easily. What's the range? 36 was the range, right? For the
The Wraith Knight or the missile launcher?
Breath Knight.
36, yep.
And 48 on the missile launcher.
That's correct.
Let's put him down. It's fine. Okay, stop the time or...
Yeah. Hit the middle button, I think. Okay, I'll do it.
Then we are ready to go.
I'm ready. Good luck. Have fun, my friend. Blammo.
You too.
I roll a 3.
Right, big roll up.
Another one.
Another one.
Eldar going first.
You go first.
I will do
Going
so.
second isn't the worst thing in the world. So we are on vital ground today, by the way,
I
chat.
don't really know the order of when
So
this goes.
the middle objective has been removed, which is a big downside for the Space Wolves. They don't have that big objective that they can just sort of dominate in the center. I do think that Zach has lucked out a little bit on these objective draws. I think he's gotten pretty lucky. He has these two missions back-to-back that have really favored this indirect fire playstyle, but that's one of the things that makes Eldar so strong. The Thunderwolf Cavalry would love to just take over an objective in the middle and score a bunch of primary objective points, but that's not really going to happen. So instead, the players will score 2 victory points for each for the objective marker in their own deployment zone, 5 victory points for each other objective marker in no man's land, and then 6 victory points if they hold their opponent's objective marker at the end of each of their command phases. Then you get bottom round 5 scoring going second, so that is going to be Anomander. So he does have the opportunity to potentially hold this objective in this corner over here, where it's going to be difficult for the true line of sight to touch this stuff. It's going to be sort of the Incarn's place to go try to fight that, or bring strategic reserves off the corner in order to deal with those models. But that does give the Space Wolves a little bit of an out. And again, Anomander did very carefully measure that the Hornets would have a difficult time shooting at the Thunderwolf Cavalry on the first turn, just thanks to the ruins in the middle. Good draw on the first turn for
Sorry, Hornets. You're gonna
Eldar.
this round.
Looks like we've grabbed Engage on all fronts and Area Denial. So he's going to have to put something in the center of the table, but it does have the opportunity to just get phantasmed out of danger potentially on Anomander's turn if he does push forward to whatever is going into the center. Assuming that we can get into the middle. Those might be a little bit tough because those Hornets would have to fly through the air to go over the ruins here, which will eat up a ton of their movement. But that that Area Denial does score if the enemy has nothing in the middle, but the player scoring it does, wholly within 6 inches of the center. And unfortunately, it might be a little bit tough to get to currently.
Fire invading is probably better. It's 2 missile shots. Not that the missiles are actually that exciting, but it's actually not amazing. 2 missiles for 2 CP is not my favorite interaction. Someone does have to be more than 3 out over here. If you're rear, yeah, you can succeed at that. Good for you. And then we have a Incarn. It's probably going to run over to an objective. These guys are speed 10. And they can always advance in charge, or they advance in charge on the turn when the doctrine says so.
Assault Doctrine, but for 1 CP, they can be in the Assault Doctrine.
Gotcha. Am I not measuring auto? Auto. Here we go. Oh, it's not much better. Either way, I think a 1-inch advance will get her where she needs to go. Try the free measure. There you go.
10 inches is like here, and
Yeah, she's as long as she's within 11, that should be fine.
yeah, that's with a 1-inch advance here. And
Yeah, sounds good. I guess I'll do my fortune before I forget. That's my last thing in the command phase. I am fortunate. I will fortune.
Potentially really
no
aggressive
one. She's not on the battlefield.
From the Incarn here, going to push right up into that objective.
This Incarn will advance. From. She won't. Well, that'll certainly do it. 16. She will. She wants to be off this terrain. It's a little hard to see, but I think she can succeed by doing that. Basically.
yeah, she is.
Sounds
Just
great.
highlight it. And you highlight it.
Yeah, and she'll just back up, so she's kind of barely on this thing. Right there. Guess that could open her up to get shot, but frankly, I think that there are better things to worry about. Oh, perfect. Great job. Yeah, she'll be the minimum possible.
So I wonder if we are going to try to suppress the Thunderwolf cavalry with the Night Spinner, prevent that charge from happening. I don't think the Incarn particularly wants to take that charge from the Thunderwolf cavalry. We also could see the Wraith Knight go in and
They can just throw a grenade.
try to do a bunch of damage to it.
Shit. This becomes an interesting point for the Autark who could run over there and do it. But then we have these Hornets. One of them wants to be in this quarter. So that's you going 6 inches. And then if I end within 9, someone can move. I don't really care if these Scout Snipers move. I don't want any of these guys to move. I'm certainly not going to end within 9 of 9.
It only works on infantry and mounted.
Okay,
It's a
so
good stratagem, not like an overpowered phantom.
Gotcha. Makes sense to me.
The shade.
So
It has a condition when it triggers, it's a random move, and it's limited to certain units.
You have another 6. You have 2 more after this.
Show engage for here.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, that works. That's all you really need. And then he'll just wants to get line of sight to this gladiator. So I don't know why my drawing thing is so thick, but that's like right here. If I can, like right there-ish. So he'll use his last 2 to put his little nose over there. I won't move it yet.
There's the line.
Sounds good. I think because of the slant of the thing, I think I can see it a little bit further over. Like I think from right here you can still see it. If you want to go and double check.
Like this. But then it's obscuring, and you're going over obscuring terrain, and he doesn't touch
He's not in the train. I don't know what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I don't know what that whole debate was over. So really, he just wants to be in control of these guys.
I was wondering if I was going crazy there, Chad. I don't know what we were measuring this one with Hornets line of sight for. It's definitely just going to shoot some sniper scouts and then call it a day, which I think that Anomander is more than happy with. He does need the Eldar to commit into him at some point, and this is as good a time as any.
Wants to advance, I think.
My co-commentator's here. She might have something to say. Can you tell us about this matchup?
And then 4, an advance of 1 would put him in here.
Quiet. Okay, I see how it is.
And he'll get charged, and that'll be sad. But what's a man to do? So I think that's probably the move. Is there a line between these two things that shows a gladiator? Got to be like here.
Yeah,
I do think that's doable.
Once you play with towering, everything has towering, apparently.
So he'll wander out over here. See, on my objective, he just wants to be line of sight and 48 inches away, which is laughably far. Oops. Should get some work done over there. And then, sorry, Hornet. I think my CP is more valuable than your 2 missile launcher shots, so he
Is there a line of sight through the center there? I guess maybe on an
4.
odd angle. It looks a little tight, though.
So we'll go.
Not 100% sure. Oh, I guess
Here,
I think this
as best I
gladiator is
can.
supposed
I
to be
have
inside the
not
terrain,
perfect.
but I'm not sure what the intention is.
The question is now because now you're moving over the terrain.
Yeah,
You have
you
to
have
turn
to-
them.
I'll do it carefully. That's like 4.
Yeah, I might go for area denial here. It would be unfortunate for Zach if he has to spend all his command points on a fire and fade to get into that area denial. It's definitely worth it for the command points, for the points, but it's a little bit awkward.
And turn an inch.
Yeah.
Huh.
And then turn like an inch. It's like 8, 9, 10.
This one is fine with me.
SSXE, thanks you for the kind words. Glad you could
Right, like there.
come watch live. Glad you've been enjoying it so far. It's been a fun event to stream so far. Some amazing games. And I think the round of 8 metagame is actually looking super diverse.
5.
These 2 players are actually playing the only 2 duplicate factions we're seeing. Only 1 GSE, 2 Eldari, 2 Space Wolves, and then 1 of everything else. And after this game,
I imagine
only one of those factions will have a duplicate.
Beep,
Yeah. Beep, beep. Heavy load, wide load, backing up. All right. He's going to deny the area. Engage. We're sitting on 3/4 right now. And it's just Wraith Knight wanting to do Wraith Knight things, which is to say shooting. Which I think will be on these guys, probably. Yeah, I think that's probably the move. As far as 48 goes, that's not too bad. We could start on these Desolators, but, who's to say how exciting that is? Otherwise, he's going the other direction, which is fine. Could still draw line of sight to them from there. 36 is like out here. It's kind of whatever. I think he does want to go this direction.
Did Space Wolves beat GSE twice? They did. Both Space Wolves made it out of the Cheese Sailor Cults matchup in round 1. A
7.
pretty wild occurrence.
So like right here. Boop. If that's legal, which I think it is. And then this Night Spinner will just kind of take place. I guess I'll measure range. Boop. So it could be a range issue. So he does it range. That's all he need. Night Spinner will scoot in here. And we're off to the races. Yep, I think it's everything. We'll do some shooting. Oh, I forgot about this whale. I knew I was going to forget this whale leaper. We'll do some whale leaping. He does not have anywhere super exciting to go, though. And he will just fly his 14 and hang out over here. Cool. All right. Let us shoot some shots. You have nothing that teleports on the battlefield to another place, right? It's only the inceptors.
No,
Deep strike,
yes,
right?
normally. Nothing turn 1.
Sounds good. Yeah, I think that's it. I guess he could move further. These guys actually aren't going to get line of sight to him. Sure.
Glad you're enjoying the commentary too. It is always like I wonder whether how much value I'm adding. Some people like commentary and game tabletop games. Some people don't. They just like to listen to the players. So I enjoy it. So that's partially why I'm here. But I'm super happy to hear it's been helpful.
Slam, 1 elf reroll, and strength 8, 1 elf reroll, AP2.
AP2, there's no one in cover, so... Hey, I made it!
Nice. Sounds great. And then advance. This guy will shoot at that Gladiator Lancer. Flammo.
Hey, thank you so much for the
Flammo.
super chat as well. That's awesome. SSXE, thank you so much.
1 elf reroll.
That 4RM Templar is going to have to work pretty hard this event. 3 out of the 4 GSC got knocked out round 1, unfortunately for them.
Arm of Contempt, and no, I don't need to. So -1, so 4 ups. Another 2
Rocking and
6s.
rolling. Sounds great.
I'm happy that the 6 are on my side.
yeah. You know, if you roll well, the game's not too hard. But you know, we'll see how we can do against these guys with the Wraith Knight shooting all the guns over here.
His AP is a lot, right? AP4, so with cover AP3, gains down to AP2, and the other one is could be AP1. I won't use anything.
Sounds good. Number of shots
We do
is
have
going to be
rights of
5,
battle in
and then I
both
think
of
blast
these.
is +1 on each gun here.
Space Wolf, the Thunderwolf cavalry units. So we have the option for free stratagems on them, but I guess we're going to be saving those for now.
Not great. 1 L free roll, and I will
We
reserve.
do have a free adaptive strategy at the start of the Space Wolf turn if we need it, so we can put these guys into advance and charge range, and they can potentially get themselves into a position where they can charge either Hornet, which means that the Phantasm can only escape with one of them. And now that the Wraith Knight's exposed and is unfortunate, it's probably the time for the Gladiator Lancers to push out and try to kill him. Or at least, I don't know if they'll kill him, but at least try to do some damage.
11 mortals.
Oh my god.
Second one is 10 mortals.
I think we
and
might
third
just pick
one
up this
is
entire
7
Thunderwolf Cavalry shot.
mortals.
Was that 3 devastating wounds from the Wraith Knight into the Thunderwolf
total.
Cavalry? Are you kidding me? 18
What a
mortal
world we
wounds.
live in.
So kills 4.5 Thunderwolves with the 1 shot.
24.
Oh, yikes. Okay, and then we have some star cannons. And these all the
Oh
rerolls.
my
They'll hit.
god! The
And
entire
presumably
Thunderwolf
one
cavalry
wound. I
unit
don't think
killed
we
to the Wraith
could
Knight.
see 4, right?
Now there's 2 characters by
36.
themselves.
1 wounded AP.
That's disgusting.
Okay.
Does the
There
Hornet
we
have a
see
circular
1,
base or
no,
measure
2.
from the hull? So the way
And he is also 2.
the way that we've ruled
Now
it
is the
for
question,
T5S2
when do
events,
they
because
split
the
up?
rules are such a
Immediately after your shoot are
I think
resolved,
once the attack sequence is over, they're now separate.
so I can only move the Wolf Guard battle leader in this case.
yeah, so like
Right.
get 1 reactive
With this ability.
It's
Because
a
they're
good
already split.
question. What's the X on the ability?
After you finish your attacks.
Oh, that's a Trevi question. I don't know.
Yeah,
Trevi!
So yeah, the question is how the Thunderwolf cavalry work?
No, when they use the
The battle
character
leader.
split. Before they split or after they split.
Pause real quick here. Let's make sure. Yeah, it would just be the battle leader moving. The Wolfguard battle leader's unit would move, but that's only him right now.
A lonely wolf man.
I will use this ability.
He's a literal
Let's
lone
try.
wolf.
2 inches.
Weird one. That is the power of the Wraith Knight right there. Just roll a bunch of 6s and entire units disappear. Pretty good stuff. Oh boy. So yeah, to answer the question from Azrael in chat, the way that we've ruled it for the tournament, because the base measurement rules are a logistical and technical nightmare in 10th edition. Anything that had a hull measurement rule in 9th edition retains that rule for 10th. So while the rules don't have hull measurement rules baked in right now, technically everything base measures, that can turn on or off depending on the board state and how you're feeling and whether Mercury's in retrograde and it's raining outside and on Tuesday nights. So instead, we're just going to say that everything that hull measures, that used to hull measure, will retain hull measuring for now. That means that Hornets do hull measure. Even if they did not, rotating a circular base still costs movement. So for things like gaining cover with your model or trying to get line of sight, you'll still have to pay movement to rotate your base. Since the path traveled by the point of your base that moved the farthest is measured, if one part of your base has rotated to get to another side, then that part will have moved farther. So that's the actual distance you subtract from your move to determine the amount that you moved. I have a whole diagram about it if anybody's interested. Average Wraith Knight
make some
moment. Yeah,
tokens.
that was pretty unfortunate, but what can you do?
Okay.
Not much to say about that. So we've put the Nautic Wayleaper and the Incarn on an objective. I think the Space Wolves do have an opportunity here. The Wraith Knight is shields down effectively. So I think that Zach is almost assuredly going to try to Phantasm it out of danger. So we're basically going to get to interact with all of the Hornets this turn. So we could put the Thunderwolf Cavalry in a position where they could get 2 Hornets. They're probably not going to Phantasm if both Lancers have line of sight to the Wraith Knight. Those things do shoot D6 plus 3 damage with 2-shot weapons. There is a not insignificant chance that, especially because of their Aquiline Optics, giving them rerolls to both hit and wound, basically identical to the Aeldari detachment ability, and damage as well, I believe.
OC of the Incarnate.
There is a non-zero chance
3,
that
that's
with
correct.
some
And then
applied
the Wayleaper's 2 or 1. I think it's 1.
command points, we see those gladiators actually rip into that Wraith Knight now that it doesn't have any defensive technology active on it. Let me just pull up the Lancer's data sheet here. It's always a tough time pulling up the Space Marine data sheets because they have a million of them. Gotta go hunting a little bit. Here you go.
Name, I had a plan, and now I'm not sure.
Yeah, taking 24 mortal wounds would be a wrench in anybody's plans for sure.
28 mortals later.
These guys could
Yeah, technically speaking, they haven't.
could certainly there is a potential that they knock out the Wraith Knight. Now it is going to be on a pretty solid save. The Lancers are only AP4. It's going to be benefiting from cover, so it's saving on 5s. We could fate dice one of those, so only 3 dice, only 3 shots will go through, even if you hit and wound with all of them. But there is a potential. You could even get a couple of indirect shots from the Desolation squads. So I think the Wraith Knight has to escape at this point just to ensure that it doesn't get diced into oblivion. That is a quick way to lose the game if your Wraith Knight just blows up randomly from 2 Gladiator Lancers. So I think that's what we're going to see here. Now, these characters actually being independent right now isn't the end of the world for Anomander because he does have all of his forward operators up in this top corner. So these guys are going to be able to push out and screen out any strategic reserves in that area. Now we can see the Warp Spiders and the Shadow Specters deep strike in, but the strategic reserves have to come in off the table edge, and they can't come in the Spatial Player's deployment zone right now. So all Anomander has to do is basically screen off this area, and nothing's going to get in range of these Desolation squads. And these 2 individual characters being able to hang out in this area as well, because he can screen out here. He can basically keep the Desolation Marines entirely safe from D-cannons for this turn. So that's going to be pretty handy-dandy. The question is whether or not he gets to pin anything else down and kill it.
Then the Incarn can heroic, or it's already gone. I will go to the Devastator Doctrine. I will put the big blob in Assault Doctrine with the Captain ability.
Cool. For free.
For free, exactly. I will put an Oath of Moment on your Incarn.
Sounds great.
Incarn. Wow. Okay. Well, that's a little spicy. So gonna try to knock the Incarn down with Desolators and potentially maybe some of the
wait a second, you can
some of the
characters.
Now, if Anomander is going to be is able to screen out effectively, I wonder if he can play a little bit more aggressively with his gladiators. Assuming he can prevent the Eldar from getting too many D cannons in range. Oh, look at this advance roll. Yeah, big. Well, that was an average advance roll, I guess. Getting them right up close and personal to some Hornets.
Sorry, Hornet. I just, there were some.
And I think the optimal turn here for Anomander and what he's probably expecting to happen is that he threatens the Wraith Knight. The Wraith Knight phantasms out of range. One Gladiator kills one Hornet. The other Gladiator kills the other Hornet. And then he knocks out the third one with the charge. Certainly some weird stuff could happen thanks to Fate Dice, but there's a non-zero chance. He is in Devastator Doctrine, so those Gladiators can't advance and shoot this turn. So all he has to do is poke one little iota of the Gladiator around this corner. They get line of sight through the middle. Yeah, a lot of stuff in reserve this game. Anomander still does have 2 units of Inceptors. Those things are not You shouldn't forget about those. This Autarch Wayleaper, I think one of the reasons that it's going to be maybe tagged right next to the Incarn the whole game is that a unit of Inceptors coming down at an inopportune moment will just kill that guy. That poor dude will just fall right over, and Zach will lose his precious access to command points, which is what's fueling his phantasms and his fire and fades. Here comes the Wolfguard battle leader moving on to the objective. We might see an Overwatch here to kill it with the Incarn's Swirling Souls Flamer.
Lord will advance.
I will throw an Overwatch here with the Incarn.
Okay, go for that.
There we go.
I will minus the CP. Boop. And she will shoot D6 plus 3 shots. Blammo! 2 plus 3 shots. And she is strength 7, 1 reroll, 3 saves, AP1.
With cover, so AP 0.
Mm-hmm.
3 saves?
3 saves.
That's still enough.
Fire! Back to you.
The other one will advance.
Unfortunate.
Four,
Knocks
so
over the Wolfguard battle leader.
is this ability only when he
So,
leads?
I think right now what we're threatening here is that one of these characters with a higher OC value than the Autarch
Nope,
is
always.
basically going to lock the
Let's go
Incarn
to
in
15, that will be
wherever
9 over here,
it
and
ends
60
up.
double
So
nature.
the
Markers, so it will
the
just
Wayleaper
be
doesn't
like
have the objective control value to
9
beat
here.
the Thunderwolves. So if the the Wolfguard battle leader had survived there and the Incarn teleported away in response to any of these units dying, then Zach would actually lose that objective. So Anomander's trying to prevent that. Unfortunately, the flamethrower was basically always going to kill that guy. It was going to be tough. And the Space Wolves, without the magnanimous power of Rabute Gilliman, are a little strapped on command points in a style of list like this. They don't have passive CP regen, so they're basically just relying on rights of battle on the two Wolf Lords, which is not super great command point economy. And here comes the screening to prevent any of these cheeky D cannons from coming in the side. Also, not terrible weapon profiles, just to be firing into these Hornets. 2 damage sniper rifles on those sniper scouts, which is pretty effective.
You can let me know if you don't want. I think that's fine because the timing is particular. But this guy died, and the Incarn wants to teleport there. I'm realizing.
Okay. Then give me a second with the wolf because he was like in a possible way to charge you here. Then.
Yep. I think. Remember where he was? Right here.
He was like touching the terrain here. Like this. Oh, nah, I don't want to touch your ones. Like this.
There you go. So I think she can stand right here. I think she just has to overlap his base. I'll double check her rules.
I think it's as close as possible, so it would be.
Incarn. How do you work? She's always been rather confusing. Abilities. Just after removing them, you can remove this model and set it up as close as possible to where that destroy model was. All right. So you're saying it's on
basically on top of it.
Sounds good. Thank you.
So in this case, the Lord was here. He moves 8 over here, then 2 over here.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a 4-inch charge. I wouldn't advance this guy then.
Yeah, of course. That makes
and
sense.
Then.
So some nice sportsman-like play there. Zach forgot to declare his trigger in response to the Overwatch being successful, but that then changes obviously where the Wolf Lord would go, and the Wolf Lord, instead of just running into nowhere, it has the potential of blocking off the blanking the Incarn's attacks with its body, and so it is actually going to be very useful in this corner. Especially because it could potentially be screening this area. Oh, just kidding.
Sounds good.
Nope, he's leaving.
He moves 10.
All right, well, I spoke too soon, I guess.
And of course, you can teleport in other faces as well.
But he won't advance in this case. He was just to go there in case he will distract somewhere near.
So I think the scary part here is that without the characters pushing down to where the Incarn is currently, Nothing screening this area out, so if we saw an advance towards the objective, that would actually be screening the D cannons out pretty far. That's not happening right now, so it looks like the D cannons could potentially come in off the table edge and just shoot at the Desolators right now, which could be crippling to the Space Wolf offense. A little worried about that.
And get an angle to this Hornet, or even shoot this guy.
I think that Anomander is just using that as his Oath token chat. Yeah, I was a little
I think
confused by that for a moment myself, but they just named it Oaths of Moment, so he's using the cat to represent his oath right now. So he's getting rerolls against the Incarn currently, which would have been, I think, why the Wolf Lord was going for that. Full rerolls with a devastating wound Slenderhammer is actually relatively effective against her. Obviously, she does half damage, which is unfortunate, but you can do a couple mortal wounds, and that would be pretty good. But not actually battle shocked. If it was battle shocked somehow, it couldn't have Overwatched there. That is a good. It's a good, great question,
Also
Chad.
black,
That's a good call
which doesn't help.
He was a lone operative.
Yes, the Autark is.
He can move like 9 over here.
So pushing the gladiators up, but not threatening the
He can advance and
Wraith
shoot
Knight?
because of the Devastor Doctrine. 3 more inches.
Devastate me, baby.
Really just focusing super hard on this objective. I think that
Okay.
what Anomander might be trying to do is using this ruin as his sort of safe haven from the Wraith Knight. I'm a little bit worried that Zach just phantasms back to here, then does a normal move and shoots into that ruin anyway. There's the mobility of the Wraith Knight is a little bit surprising sometimes.
We scooch this guy a hair's breadth so that he can't be shot by the Gladiator Lancer way downtown. And I will just copy them because I'm going to have to do a lot of checking for line of sight here. Lock. Send it back to me for the time because this is going to take a second. Got the die. Unlock.
Yeah, cat does feel appropriate for the Oath of Moment token. Whenever I declare an Oath of Moment target, I always feel like I'm being very catty. You know? I just want to reroll against that guy. Please. I'd love to reroll against him. Or it's like a real knee-jerk where you're just like, rawr, kill that guy. Ah! So trying to get out of line of sight of the Lancer. Looks like, wow, this ruin is like perfectly blocking for this guy. Holy crap. Little bit tight along the side there to this big, long, extended gun. See what the players decide.
For some reason.
Color him again because it's impossible to tell because everything's black. He'll be green.
That's not a great color on this board.
I think he's good with the building where it is. If I'm on the top of your stubber, which I think is the tallest point. Yeah, I think I can see the top of the building over top of him. Does that check out? Mostly by virtue of moving closer to the building.
It's fine. Before we now like use 10 minutes to just cast that, it's fine.
Okay, if you're uncomfortable with it, we can also adjust it. I'm happy to.
No, it's okay.
Do you guys need a line of sight check or?
Maybe it's like a pixel or something with the gladiator on it, big one.
Yeah, so it's the gladiator to the Wraith Knight.
Yes.
Yes.
So I think that the gladiator, the top of the gladiator can see the fins, and also it can see between this crack here to the star cannons.
Gotcha. So if he scoots,
true line of sight, Chad. What a fucking mechanic. Oh my god.
If he's moving backwards, that ought to adjust the height a little bit.
I don't. You might be able to do it here, but you have to be way far back to prevent the top of the antenna.
The spikes in the back thing.
Yeah, it's the antennas. It's the two antenna basically. The two with the antenna on both sides can see each other. Yeah.
Lancer, I think you're saying. So if he's like back over here, whatever it takes to.
That might be okay.
I think right. Yeah, I think that does it, right? Well, you tell me.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, that looks blocked.
Sounds good. I will delete my. Well, actually, I'll save because it comes up. my fake Wraith Knight.
Oh my god. Hashtag just towering things.
And I did a mistake, I think, with the tracking.
The
because I didn't
object
see that
permanence in
there's
the 41st millennium. It's all the fumes from those
I thought he
manufactorums,
has a
you know?
line
Like
to this
everybody's
Hornet,
doing
which was
like,
basically
you
my
know,
main target.
they're doing
you
spice
do.
or whatever,
Okay,
and they're
well, at least that's
Yeah, there's a little line through here.
they just forget. They just forget
so.
what
It's very narrow. You have, this horn. No, yeah, this one.
is
this one, not in the one with this one, yeah.
Yeah, I think you have.
And, we will go for that.
where things go. So as soon as the Wraith Knight, the
it's,
Lancer, as long as
the
its sensors can
range.
detect the Wraith Knight, they can just laser cannon it through the wall.
So
As soon as
also
the Wraith
stubborn.
Knight leaves their field of view, they just
We
forget it
start with quick
exists.
gun.
Cool.
No, we wait before we do that because you can teleport stuff. We do the Desolators unload completely on the Yinkarn.
Okay.
I will spend a stratagem
that's a
for
good call.
plus
You
1
gotta
AP
shoot.
and
You gotta shoot at the Yinkarn
ignore
first.
cover, but I already
And
have
there's the
ignore
Storm of
cover.
Fire getting activated on it.
Then I can't see anything else, right? Yeah. That's 9 shots because you killed one, right? Yeah.
Antennas are designed by the same engineer who works from the Death Star. Yeah, they're actually like heat vents. If you destroy them, the Wraith Knight just melts down.
So these are hitting on 3s.
Mm-hmm.
Full rerolls against you. 6s and 5s exploding.
Mm-hmm.
And 6s. Full
Okay.
rerolls. Oh, strength. Yeah, more than 8, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, look at that wound
This is
roll
AP1.
there, chat. 9
These are 3 up saves now.
AP1 no cover. Amazing.
I'll take 2 damage.
2 damage. And the Sergeant
Good save, though.
for
Good
5
save, good
shots. 2s, full rerolls. And 5s, full rerolls. Nice. 3 wounds, AP1. Ignore cover. Oh, no, wait, AP2.
Maybe
Because
2.
of the
4 up
strategy
save
move.
now. Yep.
Everything.
Love it.
Fine. Okay, then the Gladiator here, as I discussed on this one.
Sounds great.
2 hits because I stay still. 2 wounds. AP4.
Sounds
AP4, but with cover, so AP3.
good. So 6 up saves. 1 save. Fails. You want to do damage.
D6 plus 3. I will reroll that for with my ability. Wait a second, we are in TTS, get a new die. 7 damage.
7 damage.
Almost
Down to
got
1
it.
left. And then bloop.
Can we get him with a scout
And he'll
bike,
die
maybe?
as you explode. Boop. No.
Oh, that did kill it. No.
Mhm. Then the sniper scouts will shoot the other Hornet. 5
Sure.
shots. 1 wound. AP2, 2 damage.
Ammo. Go through.
2 damage. The scout
Do it
bike
at
I will
angle?
shoot there.
Yeah, give you better.
First the
contrast on
grenades.
basis.
Nothing. Then the shotguns. Toughness.
7.
1 wound. No AP.
Sounds good. He's good.
Space Wolf
Okay.
secondaries. Let me pull him up, chat. Unfortunately, they did pull Assassination this turn, which is, I think, why he was going so hard into the Incarn, but very little chance he takes it out. And then also Engage on all fronts. There you go.
This is a 6-inch charge here. Probably even a 5.
Mm-hmm.
So this gladiator will unload in this Hornet. With everything.
Blamo. That's the wounded one or the not wounded one?
The not wounded one.
Gotcha. Go for it.
The big guns, both hit, both wound.
All right.
This time, I think you don't have. You have cover. You have cover. I need to make here original and.
I don't. I think you can draw from this dead center view to see me. So actually, will not
Both
succeed.
go through.
Yep, both go through. Yep.
That's
An
8
automatic
damage
throw.
already.
D6 plus 3.
That'll
Minimum
do
4.
it.
We'll kill it.
Yeah.
He explode. He does not.
It's after watching Gladiator Lancers fighting Gene Stealer called for so many games, chat. I'm glad to see Lancers in their element in the main battle tank gun battles of the 41st millennium, where the Gladiator Lancer reigns supreme. It is a little nice.
Or 7.
Oh, excuse me, chat. I'm sorry if the description's wrong. Exclamation point lists should get you the lists, unless I also typoed that. Let me get that in there.
Oh, I need to base here.
I'll post it in here as well. Just make sure my command is correct, too. Bit of a last-minute stream, so I apologize that it's not all up to snuff today.
And then the Thunderwolf will charge you.
Yarge.
Or 7, because +1.
Mm-hmm.
Like 3.
All right, here comes the team.
4 inches.
Send in the boys. So the Wraith Knight did move forward with its Phantasm rather than back into its little safe haven of this ruin here. So I actually think if these Thunderwolves are able to get a big charge, they're moving 7 inches. It might not save them, actually. I think they needed to roll higher to escape its line of sight, but now it's going to be able to move up and just shoot at them, which is a little unfortunate. It is because the Farseer is coming out of reserve in the reinforcement step. The Wraith Knight does have to worry about the Lancers for another turn, because it is going to have to go for another full round without fortune on it. So it's going to have to escape. It may just shoot into them, but that means that that's less gunshots going into the Thunderwolf cavalry. So Anomander probably not too worried about that. I'm getting the scout bikers in as well.
10. He can not go here and be like at an engagement range, but not charging.
Do Thunderwolf cavalry
not
get to use
base.
squad tactics? They do. Yep. They are mounted units, which is one of the restrictions for squad tactics, mounted or infantry. So they're able to use the strat, which is great. So part of the gimmick is that they're actually very mobile. They look like they're kind of stodgy, but they get a reactive move when you shoot them and potentially a reactive move when you move near them, which is one of the reasons Anomander is playing this list.
Start.
Just make sure he's not over top of his friend's base, but he should be pretty much good to go. Yep, there you go.
Yeah, it's a little bit tough because, well, first of all, it has to be triggered. And I don't know if any Eldar units are going to come over here anytime soon. So it's not unlikely that it just literally never gets triggered.
But just make sure he's closer.
Yeah, that might he might be stuck there, unfortunately.
Yep, yeah, he's closer. Yep, that's good.
Oh, maybe not. Nice.
Yeah, he's good.
But the other thing is that it's going to have to move d6. And they can't go through the wall, so it's a little bit difficult. Well, we'll see if Zach ends up triggering it at all. If he does, it'll be awkward, but be good for Anomander.
Come on, get in there. 3 mortals and strength 10, so hitting on 3s. 4 saves, AP3. AP2, sorry.
So mortals come from a 6 to wound?
This are 6s to hit. They auto wounded, and this is a 6 to wound here.
And that's dev wound. So that's separate dev wound for 3 mortals.
Yeah.
And these are 3 saves at AP
2.
So these
Damage
are
3.
damage 3. So this is taking 3 damage so far. 4, 5, 6 damage.
So his Thunderwolf's getting +1 damage on the charge. Just make that Thunderhammer basically an old school Thunderhammer.
What's the other guy have?
And this guy having the Honor Vehement means that he's actually coming in at a bunch of attacks at strength 10 in Assault Doctrine. Yeah, 7 attacks at strength 10 plus 5 attacks from the mount at strength 7, I believe. That's it's a lot of damage. That Wolf Lord does not mess around.
He will be moving like here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's some dishes happening in the background for sure.
I think this guy does have to go closer to the objective, right?
He's a bit, like scoop a bit closer.
Okay, sounds good.
These guys can move towards the objective.
Everybody suck it in, boys. We're trying to hide behind this little like 10-foot shrubbery right here. Everyone cluster up. Everybody hug. Get real comfy.
So she would end up out here.
Oh, Incarn teleporting. Oh,
As close as
it's a
physically
gorgeous
possible,
Incarn teleport.
which I think is there. Yep, that'll do it.
That could be the
In
squad
this
tactics
case, I
trigger
won't
though,
move the
chat.
scouts, because otherwise I have to go to the towards the Incan. But they can still hit you.
Mm-hmm.
If it's worth, you have oath.
Mm-hmm.
No, and but I could also bring these guys in for loose. No, you will kill at least 1 unit there. And I didn't do any damage. That's fine.
It's
I
like
will
Scooby-Doo and they hide behind a
Assassination.
lamppost.
For a CP.
The Wraith Knight like phantasms away and they like 3
And then it's
Thunderwolf cavalry like heads poke out.
I will score a 10.
Why a 10?
Only 7.
7, right?
Oh no, it's not 5 for objective. It's a 7. It's 2 for home.
Yeah.
And, yeah. Oops. There you go. And 5 for the no man's land objective. And I will draw 2 of these guys, which is no prisoners and a tempting target. Where, which objective do you want to tempt me?
It's the no man's land, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like here.
I think that's probably a good call. And then I have no command phase because I don't have a Farseer out. And I sure do have a movement phase though. And this is the phase to shoot people.
Yeah, so this will be the make or break right here. Because of all these reserves that the Eldar have, they lose 3 Hornets, but that's not a big loss. 3 D cannon platforms, 2 units of Shadow Specters coming in, potentially some Warp Spiders. Anomander looks like did not score his engage on all fronts. I think maybe was hoping to do it with the Wolf Lord, but I don't think he rolled high enough into his advance.
Overwatches, it's the Desolators, 24.
Yeah, and I'm a little bit worried. Could see some real scary D cannon drops over on this side, where things are relatively light to just blast the Desolation Marines.
Against this guy.
But that means that's less shots going into the heart of the
Space
Space Wolf army over here, and this has a potential push onto the Night Spinner and the Eldar home objective, so that is a little dangerous for Zach. He can't really let that go unscathed.
And we have Inceptors coming down. And lots of guys of man coming down. 24 inches away. Could just land guys out in the fields. That is, technically speaking, an opportunity.
Yeah, I think unfortunately maybe pushed the Lancer in the side here too far. If it wasn't going to shoot the Wraith Knight, didn't need to go quite as far as it did, and that does open it up to potential decannoning or prism cannoning from the Shadow Specters.
Scout snipers are untargetable within outside of 12. Everyone else is just dudes, right?
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay.
Don't feel Desolators are worth the points post nerf. I would say that you're all by yourself. Desolators are definitely the best unit in the Space Marine Codex, hands down, for sure.
Dudes in this area with the deep strike. That's fine. It's not my favorite. Wraith Knight could walk 10 inches to here. And then be out of range of that guy. And maybe in range of that guy, although it could just walk directly towards this guy, and because of the antenna situation, we know when he's closer, he's there. But 36 in range plus 10 is 46, so he's actually out of range no matter what he does. So if he wants to shoot, he's got to shoot the other gladiator.
Yeah, I do think they do a little bit to I guess, alleviate some of the problems that Space Marines feel like they have elsewhere. I do think like Space Marines' ability to hold down the middle of the table feels a little bit sad because they are very squishy, especially to the kinds of profiles that we're seeing in 10th edition so far. So having Desolators definitely allows them to interact with stuff even when they're not just like forcing their units up the center of the table. So I don't think it's I think it's pretty fair, to be honest.
Interceptors landing in a second here.
There are some matchups where they are really annoying, though, if you're playing really heavy infantry and don't have much recourse against them. But they also do get most of their points back once they break cover, and then you can actually interact with the unit. So you win some, you lose some, really.
You guys will complete the screen and then die. But, you know, everyone dies sometime. That's probably your lot in life.
So yeah, it looks like we're just gonna. I think we're just gonna commit on all this stuff coming down over here. Now we have to remember the Thunderwolf Cavalry have not yet used their reactive move. So one thing that Anomander might be excited to do is if the Incarn declares a move here. And ends within 9 of the Thunderwolf Cavalry. So basically doesn't directly move away from them, which is unlikely. They're unlikely to do. I think these guys will probably push into the corner.
That could be you guys.
If the Wraith Knight is not the first unit to shoot them, they're going to reactive move into the Incarn to prevent it from charging, so they're going to be able to fight first, and to prevent the Wraith Knight from shooting him.
Over here.
So Zach has to be extremely careful how he declares his targets right now. And I will preface this. There was some some discussion about the Anomander's last game. He did extremely clearly tell his opponent, if you're going to shoot the Thunderwolves, shoot them first, because they can move into engagement range after you shoot them. And he said almost those exact words, almost verbatim to Zach before the game began. The question is whether Zach remembers them. When we'll see. We'll see what happens.
There you go. And then D cannons.
Yeah, the Farseer didn't start on the board because of the Desolators trap. It is a little bit... It can outrange the Desolator, so I don't know if that was necessarily the right call, but... it gives you 2 turns off of not getting the Farseer ability and not getting Fortune, which is unfortunate, but I guess literally unfortunate. Unironically, exactly unfortunate. But does mean that they're safe. Ooh, here come the D cannons, ready to fire.
Lollygagging around. And frankly, she just wants to be within 12 of her buddies. Right there. Seems great for her. 12. Oh, no, that's not how that works. 12. And then we could have some Shadow Specters additionally over here. Now, if we leave like a Wolf Guard captain around, he's just going to smash some shit right in the face.
This is going to be a lot of shooting. Oh my god. Zach just taking the full commit into the Wraithguard, or into the Thunderwolves, excuse me.
This is 9.
Oh boy.
And then let's get 9 off of him real quick. Could do something like this. That could be a thing. Seems quite awkward. Let's put these guys up here too. I'm gonna color the squads. You here, put you there. I guess we want to.
Yeah, definitely having indirect fire is good for that reason, chat. That you mentioned, Coral. That forcing your opponent to have to consider it is pretty good, and that's one of the reasons that even if you're playing an army that's like, you know, majority melee is more aggressive, like maybe transport oriented, I always recommend people take some measure of shooting, because at the very least it forces your opponent to think about it and to deploy behind cover and not sort of do whatever they want. The most freeing experience in 40k is when you rock up to a table and your opponent has like one bolt gun. They're playing like World Eaters, and you're like, oh, what range attacks do you have? And they're like, well, these guys have plasma pistols, and this guy has a bolter. And you're like, oh, okay. And you get to deploy your screens wherever you want. You can put your utility units out in the open. It's like a great weight gets lifted off your shoulders. Whereas if that army had one Forge Fiend, suddenly you can't do any of that.
And this guy could pass. I don't know that we need more than 2
The
of them.
thumbnail shows last night's Necrons game. It shouldn't.
Don't think we need that many of them.
Weird. That's not what it should have on it.
So I think we'll have one a little further back, ready to shoot these Wolfguard. It's Thunder Cav. They're not actually Wolfguard.
Yeah, this was a last-minute stream, chat. This one wasn't planned, so I had to do everything in the last 5 minutes because these players decided to play literally about 15 minutes before it started. So I was scrambling a little bit, so I apologize if any of the information's incorrect.
When is Phantasm again? At the end of my movement phase, or
at the end of your movement phase? That's correct. This Night Spinner can draw true line of sight, so I guess this Farseer is going to want to come on over here just to give him space. Boop. Don't face this wall. Night Spinner probably wants to just do that. We'll draw line of sight down here and shoot some guys just for +1 hit. These scouts can move D6 after I finish a move within 9 of them, which is no one because I can't land within 9 of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just the Incarnate who obviously isn't moving. And then these guys can move D6 after I shoot them for the first time directly towards who shot them.
Mm-hmm. No, the closest enemy unit.
The closest enemy unit, so it would be these 4 spiders. And they can do it. They don't have to do it the first time. It can be whenever.
Yes.
Yeah,
I guess unless the Incarnate teleported, maybe.
Okie dokie.
That would be an interesting.
I guess that means we can back this guy a little bit up. Just make sure it's the purple spiders. Not that it makes a huge difference.
Don't know what else is getting killed here, but this does mean that the Desolators actually just sort of survive.
Out over here as well.
And they get to shoot this coming turn. But if the Aeldari can do a backbreaking amount of damage this turn, this game's going to be over pretty quickly.
So we'll just have one of you.
And it sounds like Zach is not going to make a sequencing mistake targeting these Thunderwolf Cavalry.
Screening needs. Oh, it's a risky one. Okay.
I wonder if that's the reason the Lotus Skull's points hike in World Eaters wasn't caused by that.
The move when you move with.
Well, the
and
yeah, I think it might be that because I think the World Eaters one is more expensive to begin with. I think that might be part of it. It also gets the benefits of Blessings of Corn, so it is also, I think, a little bit more effective situationally in melee too.
The team. That's everyone.
I do appreciate that
That's your
identical units are costed differently in different factions now, which is kind of nice.
We will start with.
Give me a second. Talk to me.
Oh, sure.
He has Dragonlance.
What?
Yeah.
He has a Starglade? Yeah, he has.
So we're considering a rapid ingress to take this objective from the Autarch. I think we could rapid ingress behind this wall, and I don't think the Wraith Knight would have line of sight, and that would be another
debating
5-point swing for Anomander.
A rapid ingress unit down here.
Yep, here we're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Come on in, boys. So pay in the CP. Drop a unit in the back over here.
Yeah, I will guess I will do that.
Okay.
Man.
Plasma ones.
If
Get Plasmy.
Desolators are the best data sheet in the Space Marine Index, Inceptors are
So
definitely
the Wrath
second
Knight
best.
can't see them.
I can get rid of the
Drop right there.
current
Gorgeous.
reserves.
Gorgeous.
Looks good.
So the Autarch Whale Leaper only at OC1 now has to kill
there,
2
no.
Inceptors in order to contest that objective.
Like this.
And there is a potential that
All right.
it could get Overwatched as well if it tries to charge there.
One gun. It's one fusion gun.
Mm-hmm.
He will blammo and hit and blammo and wound. AP4. AP4.
Down to AP3 with cover.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, goes through.
Damage is blammo. 2. How sad. Do I want to spend a CP on that? I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have to kill 2 of these guys. I won't. It's sad, but I won't. Okay. And then other people who have no options will be yellow fighters into
Awesome.
these scout snipers.
Awesome move.
There are.
One of the many reasons that these 3-inch Deep Strikers are so strong in 10th edition, a lot of people get used to having their lone operatives be able to sort of do whatever they want on back objectives. And if you don't screen correctly, we could have prevented this by just, deep striking some warp spiders or something here to ensure that we control that objective. If you don't screen correctly, those units are going to come get you, and that unit will absolutely blow up a Way Leaper.
Neat. These guys are now out of range. Maybe one is in range. I need to go back to auto measure. Oh, and I passed the clock back to me. Forgot about that. 2 of them are in range. It's kind of fine.
So blasted a bunch of scouts to death.
They're equidistant range to the 2 of them, so I guess we'll do the Incarn Flamer into them, see what that ends up as. Ooh, D6 plus 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 shots. Flammo, 1 elf reroll will be 5 saves at AP1.
One is alive.
Good job, little scout sniper.
And then I think the thing to do next is probably shoot our Wraith Knight before we are even tempted to cut line of sight. So he'll shoot everything at Thunderwolf Cav.
All right, so Zach making the correct call there. Just trying to blast the Thunderwolf Cavalry unit as much as possible before it gets its reactive move to engage the Incarn. So I think the technology here is that we can have the Thunderwolf Cav reactive move, engage the Incarn. Then if we kill anything else, including the Scout Sniper, the Incarn can teleport to the Scout Sniper and bounce itself out of engagement range of the Thunderwolf Cavalry. So tons of reactive abilities coming into play here, but kind of goes to show you that the reactive gameplay of 10th edition is greatly intact.
And successful wound and 1 elf reroll, and then we'll use the Farseer to turn this also into a 6, so 2 saves.
It's 12 or 6? 12, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So 1 save and 2 6s. 2 saves. No, 1 save.
2 saves and 1 6, if only.
Both saved with the
They
double
love
six.
saves. The secret is to not let them have saves.
Three
This is why
wounds.
we take the TP, so we'll re-roll here.
Oh, that's sad.
This is explicitly why I didn't do it on the other one. And end up at 7 mortals.
Killing one, putting down one down to 1,
Sounds good.
using the ability.
Sure.
The Incan is right in front of me.
Yes, I'm going
So
to
that
finish
was
this. There's
a,
a couple more little guns.
That was a
Yes,
significantly
more
less
guns,
terrifying
sorry.
shot than we saw last turn.
End up with
Only
lots
7
of
mortal
saves,
wounds
basically.
done, much less than the 28 it did on turn 1.
Oh, well,
Anomander would have
first.
been pretty happy with that on the first turn for sure.
The Incan can use the ability also in if he's engagement range, right?
I don't know. Let me check. Just after removing last small unit, you can remove the small battlefield and set it up anywhere. Was not within engage range of anyone else. So it can't go into engage range, but it can leave from engage range. That's correct.
Um,
I'll leave it to you.
Now I have another question because I have to move close as possible, but can I use my movement because I could also go with 5-inch over here.
That's a question for Trevi. I think directly towards is just as close as possible, but I don't really know.
Yeah, so the question's whether or not the you can sort of use it to snake around the base as long as you end closer.
Yes. Like I'm in base contact, but can I go also in base contact over here? Or over here? Or do I just move straight up?
Just look at this. I keep having to look at this battle leader data sheet. I should just keep it on bookmark, I guess. It must end the move as close as possible, so it does not have to travel. It doesn't continuously have to travel directly at. So it needs to end base to base if you can, essentially, because that's as close as you can get. But you can do that on any side of the base that you want.
And the purple one didn't hold, right?
Correct. They have not shot yet.
I'll pull up the data sheet for you guys too, so we can read along here.
Going like 4.
These
here.
guys are pretty nuts.
And,
So I think what's going to happen is that we'll just kill that scout and pull the Incarn out of melee.
no, he wants to stay wholly within for the
This
cover.
will get a lot of additional movement to the unit, potentially. So we can try to get the characters in on a good
He can base you.
impact into the D cannons this coming turn, assuming that they don't blow up all the Thunderwolf cavalry. And also, that means the Wraith Knight fired into the Thunderwolves, not the Lancers, so these Lancers just keep getting a shoot.
He doesn't.
This is going to be the most work we've seen out of Lancers in a decade.
Yes, I can't move 2 inches ahead.
How much do I think the game would change if they supported the digital version? It's an interesting question. I think you would see the digital version is cleaner for competitive play, so I think you would see a
Cool. We'll pass it back to me.
if it was more accessible and less,
That is the
sort
right
of
content.
based on mods and things like that, you would see much more of a competitive scene. And I think it works as kind of this like hyperbaric time chamber for competitive play, where it's probably the easiest way to get reps and to learn the basic mechanics of 40k that there is.
One real free roll.
So I think you'd see a vast improvement in competitive play overall if it was easier to play.
Assume it.
There'd be less of a stigma against it too, right? Like a lot of people don't like TTS 40k because it is sort of a fan-made creation, but I don't think that's entirely fair.
And they will move their 6.
Didn't kill the scout bikes. Only 2.
Oops, a little less. Just making sure, as described before, that they work on this objective. And then I think we'll do Another Spectre squad. They have a couple of options. If they'll
It was
dip.
official would be worse and more expensive. Yeah, you might maybe not wrong. It would depend on whether they outsourced it or not. It could be something that is supported by an external community or an external company. Because the Games Workshop internal digital stuff is not great, but the stuff that they outsource is okay.
Probably the spiders are the best candidate for this. Otherwise,
I did
just
make
like
a
a
DBZ
full
reference.
squad
For someone who's
behind
never
that.
watched a single episode of Dragon Ball Z, that's one reference I know. It's that and the Scouter power level
Saves
meme.
and cover.
2 up saves and cover, yes.
No 4-ups. I guess they could armor contempt. That's not crazy.
Mhm.
Yeah, qualifiers for offline
I
events
think
being
we'll
online would be
do
cool.
the
Tighter integration between
we'll
online
drop
and
3
offline
shots
play
on the
is
Scout
something
Biker
I would like
and
to
2
see,
of the
but
Lancer.
I mean, it's tough.
Or no garbage.
You do kind of want DTS to sort of keep a low profile for sure. But if it was official, then there wouldn't have to be that tension.
Because otherwise I have to spend this spider squad doing it, and they can't shoot anything else. So I think, yeah, it's going to be Spectres, unfortunately shooting everything into this one Scout Biker.
Mhm.
Because the other guys kind of biffed it. Oh, these guys are doing the best to biff it. Boop. And then boop. 3 saves.
Well, he's dead.
Cool. We will teleport the Incarn out of combat.
Mhm.
Just gonna move this guy to a 1-inch. Yeah, I think he's gonna end up right like here.
Mhm.
Where that lands.
So there you go. Killed the Scout Bikers, teleport the Incarn out, and now the D-Cannons are free to shoot. I wonder, I don't know if that was entirely Zach's counterplay there, but if it was an incredibly prescient play, just forcing the Incarn into the middle of the Space Wolf army in order to eat the reactive move from the Thunderwolves. There's no chance that the Thunderwolves hit anything you don't want if you give them a target that you know is going to end up unengaged. Really, really good play. We're playing 5D chess here today.
Oh, sorry, this was the scout, not the...
Yes, yeah.
Thunderwolf
That guy is still there for now.
Well, we can use
we're doing our best
Battle
to kill him,
Scribe,
but, you know.
Battle Scribe is back for 10th edition as of this morning. And I've rosterized, or I have yellow scribed my very first list. In fact, I wasn't like a cool boy who got into the rosterizer beta or whatever you have to do to get there. So I was playing with plebeian un-yellow scribed lists until just this morning.
Sure. We'll just keep peppering them. The Farseer will shoot her brain gun, which has D6 shots. For 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So still blast, so 3 shots plus 1.
Yeah, there's now a 10th edition Battle Scribe file. You have to download it separately from the 9th edition one. I should do a video about it. Why didn't I do that? Tomorrow morning. That's for tomorrow morning, Trevi. 9 p.m. Trevi's too tired.
Damage, which is 3, which will kill a guy, I think, followed by 1. Oh, that never does anything. Good for her. And while they're still blastable, I guess, we'll start with these guys with the back support weapon first. I will do his big gun, D3 shots. His 1 shot, plus 1 from blast. Hitting on 3s. Wounding on 2s. I will use my reroll here. So that's 1 save, and then some mortals.
Saved.
Battle Scribe work on Yellow Scribe? To my knowledge. I Yellow Scribed my army, and I haven't played with it yet, but I haven't noticed any problems. Seemed like it worked fine.
They'll shoot each. Which hits, and does 1 wound at AP1.
Saved.
And then the next one down the line will do its business. We'll just go with this guy. Number of shots. Get in there. Get in there. Also, only one. Now no blast. And he'll slam hit home, followed by a wound. We'll use the reroll, and so we'll end up with a wound.
Give me a second. Give me a second. I
And
use
I'll
the
land
CP
7
reroll.
damage
Yeah.
onto that one guy.
I use the CP reroll. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Go
But
ahead. Yep.
still 7 wounds, so 1 is dead.
Sounds good. And I think we will shoot the last one at them too. I just hate him. Just hate him. He'll get a couple more shots. He'll get 3 shots. Do roll all the dice, please. He'll do a bad job. 1 elf roll.
Whoa, that's unfortunate.
And hit. And then he'll do mortals. And his mortals will be 5.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll shoot the Night Spinner. I think that's our last guy. Does he want to help out our friend the Autarch? Let's play the game. How much do you trust a Yinkarn? This guy's OC is 2, so I will need to kill both if that guy decides to get in there, which, wouldn't be crazy. Now, she really ought to kill that guy. And I sure don't want you scoring points, because points are bad. So I do think this Night Spinner will shoot at the Inceptors there, and does have a Shuriken Cannon, which will slam down onto this guy. I guess I should double check range. It's only 24. Yeah, Shuriken Cannon's good. Okay. So we will shoot the Shuriken Cannon. I guess we should probably do that last second. So first we'll shoot the main gun. That lands 9 shots. Fleet. Hits on 4s. Gets 1 reroll. Try again. And then wounds on 3s. And rerolls everything. Only 1 save. No AP.
Saved.
There you go. And then he shoots his Shuriken Cannon, which gets 3 hits. And is strength 6 and wounds on 4s. And lands 3 saves. AP 1.
So cover.
Mm-hmm.
Save.
Neat. Alrighty. Then it's just Yinkarn party time.
Mm-hmm.
And Yinkarn, tempted though she is by a Gladiator Lancer, will party time into this man right there. Charge.
Is the
A
Fell
5, I
Blade
think, is
legal
fine.
for competitive play? It is not yet. The only
she
options in the Space Marine Forge World Index are Thunderhawk gunships and Astraeus. Every other Forge World unit has been removed,
If you want a heroic,
or is like a proxy.
5 attacks. 5 attacks.
5 attacks. D6 plus 1 damage.
Still have the ability for free. Let me double check if this only works when he leads a unit.
Sounds good. I'm going to pass it to you while you're deciding.
I will use his ability to heroic intervene.
Sure.
A 9.
Oof. So intervention for free. It's like we're playing
Cool.
9th edition Space Wolves, so everything intervenes.
And
Wait a second, he's not on the objective.
Who's not?
The battle leader.
The Wolf Guard Battle Leader. That's correct.
Yeah, never mind. Too late.
He's on that one. That's interesting. I don't know what the difference is.
Maybe
he's
it's...
very clearly on this one and not on the other one.
Yeah,
I don't
If
know
he's on
why.
the objective markers in the FTC base have like a what's the word? Like a tilt to them.
Mhm.
So the marker is underneath the ruin here. Is why you can't see it.
Okay, so he's on the marker. Then I will do this and hope maybe we can hope this.
All right.
More
Will
charges.
Spring
Like an
Eternal.
incline is the answer.
Yep. Will attack 2s. And 2s. 1 elf reroll. 5 saves.
All right, Storm Shield.
On the battle leader.
Yeah, on the Battle Leader.
Storm Shield, it's time for you to do work.
I mean, they both have a 4 pinball save, right?
Yeah, 5 safe, you said.
Yeah, so the Incarn has to kill one of these guys to prevent
One
the
CP
Space
left.
Wolves from holding down this objective. It is only OC3, so together they are OC4. Oh my god, 3 saves made. Can we do it? 1 goes
I
through.
will CP reroll that.
We'll CP with
Okay.
the last command point. Makes it.
Oh,
He has to make this last one. Oh no, it goes through. I think this is going to be a fate dice roll
and I
here.
will spend a 3 on a fate die.
Yep,
to
there it
make
is.
sure
And 4
that he
wounds.
dies.
Automatically will kill that guy. Oh, he was so close, chat.
And then I could teleport, but that would put me off the objective, which I don't love. So that's that. And then, oh, did you spend your
Wolf Lord
CP?
just needs to swing.
I spent my CP.
And that's her done. So you get to slap me.
He unfortunately, I
Didn't
don't
the sword
believe
doctrines has 7
will
attacks?
be able to kill her.
Hold on, real quick. I'm deciding whether I want a lightning quick. And I'll pass it back to me while I do this. He has some attack because he's not damage 2, right? He's damage.
He's damage 2 at the moment, so damage 1.
Damage 1. Okay. Well, then I'll let it lie. Carry on.
40 rerolls.
Oof, not a great attack roll there. And
4 rerolls, strength 10, your toughness
10.
10.
yeah, looking for 4s. Question is, I think whether we fish for devastating. Looks like
Because he
we're
has
just going to
plus
take
2 from being in the assault doctrine, right?
Yes, exactly. So
it.
4
That's Honor
saves.
Vehement triggering.
All right. Yeah.
They're doing a little bit of damage. No
Maybe at least
devastating
2?
wounds is sad. 2 go through.
For you, 1 damage 1, yeah.
Down to 8.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think that is all she wrote. I've done as much damage as I know how to do. And now it's your turn to do it back to me. I will score some points. I will score myself counting target and no prisoners for I think I kill at least 3 units.
I don't know if we rolled the wolf attacks there, chat.
And back to you.
Are those
Ooh.
are those optional? Is that
Uh,
allowed?
Charge this guy.
I asked you, and then more charges.
Yeah, if you don't want to, I understand.
Because
Okay.
then I would have spent the CP for Overwatch here. That's why.
Gotcha. All right. Well, that's on me. Object permanence is challenging. I will pass it to you. Yeah, it's already on you.
Yeah, we have already determined that units in the 41st Millennium don't even have object permanence. So why can we expect the players to? Extra attacks are optional, chat. So I think we just lost those. That's unfortunate.
We have how many CP? 1,
Didn't
2,
charge
3,
the Inceptors either, so that is going to hold down this objective for Anomander. So at least he's on the board for primary, but it's not looking great. He's running out of units very quickly. And he is going to be able to reap a great toll of the units over here, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. He does have the shots into the Incarn. He could potentially knock the Incarn down with the Lancers. I think that maybe the game plan here is we've put both Lancers in line of sight of the Wraith Knight and the Incarn. We force one of them to Phantasm. Whichever one you don't, you shoot the other one, and you maybe try to get lucky and blow this thing up so it can't deal with the Lancers. We Tactical Doctrine to fall back this guy and just get him into the support weapon platforms and engage as much as possible. It can't really hurt him. He's kind of invincible to the melee attacks here. But if the Desolators clear out one of the Warp Spider squads, then the Wolf Lord can kill one support weapon platform and maybe even grab the other one and a Warp Spider squad. And I think that's the game plan.
Which I guess I forgot about, but he's a -1 to hit. And wherever I put my other one is on these Inceptors. Here it is. Monocle web.
I just want to see this Thunderwolf like cleave through this portion of this Eldar army right now. Just an endless number of 4+ invulnerable saves made and just bumping everybody on the head with the big hammer. I would love that. I think that would be great. We could get the Venger launcher into a support weapon platform as well, so could maybe knock 2 out and engage the third one. Or if you get a little bit aggressive with your attacks as well, you could even knock 3 out. Be pretty cool. If you knocked 3 out and Zach allowed you very generously to kill the Wraith Knight, that would, I think, put the Space Wolves back in this game. They would need not only some cooperation from their opponent, but also some insanely strong dice. But we'll see.
We only the fastest per turn or per phase.
Sorry, what?
The fastest per battle round or battle turn.
She can do it once per battle turn. So she can do it in your turn and my turn. Turns only to a 6, I assume, is what you're talking about.
Yes.
So while we're considering, do you want to throw a quick shout out to our event sponsors for this invitational as well? Please check them out. Exclamation point sponsors in the chat, or you can find them down in the video description. Delta Studios makes all sorts of cool props and other accoutrements from a wide variety of sci-fi war games, or sci-fi universes, I should say, including things like Deep Rock Galactic and Halo, but also Warhammer 40,000. So you can get things like bolt guns and chainswords for your own mantelpiece, or maybe you can equip your miniatures with them, with a full-size bolter. That would be really good for true line of sight, at least getting true line of sight. Maybe you do it to your lone operatives, so your lone operatives can't be shot, but have a bolt gun the size of a house. You could also go to GameMat.eu to get your tabletop accoutrements like neoprene mats and 3D terrain. If you want bases to put them on, 3D6 Wargaming does make neoprene terrain templates. They can also furnish you with objective markers. They make all sorts of amazing laser cut neoprene items. And last but certainly not least, the Magnet Baron makes a wide variety of cool magnetic kits for Warhammer 40k kits. So if you want to modularize your weapons, then that's what they're for.
That's advance and shoot.
Mm-hmm. And fallback, advanced input was Devastator Doctrine. This is fallback, shoot and charge.
Desolators kill the knight. Lancers kill the Incarn. Battle leader goes bananas. Yeah, I mean, it's nice that we have a dream. We also have an Inceptor squad in reserve as well, so can't forget about those guys. I think they actually could potentially just jump in the back over here and blow up a support weapon platform or something. Although they are the bolter variety, not the Chad plasma variety. We're also probably going to kill this Way Leaper with the Inceptors as well, I imagine. That guy, I don't think is very long for this world after getting filled with plasma bolts. Don't even have to overcharge in that guy either. They actually have a really good profile matchup against him, so he should just fall over. Unless we see some Fate Dice saved. But if we Fate Dice the Way Leaper, then the Wraith Knight or the Incarn won't have Fate Dice available for them. Oh, we might try to Phantasm him away, but that would open up the Wraith Knight to being shot. Is that what you want to do, Mr. Zach?
Devastator Doctrine, it doesn't work. I need 2 CP to work that. So no, then we will fall back with this guy.
Cool.
Here.
I think I will probably attempt an Overwatch on him. There not being that many better targets. He probably survives.
That's
but
spicy.
the alternatives are kind of fine. Yeah, we will Overwatch him. I'll pay 1 CP. Wraith Knight will shoot him. We got some Star Cannons. I'll pass the time to me while I'm doing this. Boop. Star Cannons, real quick. Blammo, they don't have anything. And then we have 2 big guns. We're going to shoot 6 shots. This is 5 of them. 1 elf reroll, and they're sad. And we'll have the Farseer turn 1 to a 6. And then try and wound. And
oh no!
Mortals on the wound. Wow, that's pretty good.
Oh no!
And land. 7
Exactly
wounds.
the 7.
You gotta knew it was gonna happen that way.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it did.
Well, our dreams are kaput, chat.
1, 2.
So the Wraith Knight firing into
4.
the Wolf Lord. Looked like he was going to do okay. We did auto 6 a Strands of Fate roll with the Farseer. Roll the Devastating Wound. Burn that guy to death. Does put Zach down to 1 CP, but he does have his Phantasm available still. That means his Overwatch is used up. And we do have the Lancers moving up to the point where they can see both the Incarn and the Wraith Knight. I assume so. Yeah. So we could shoot into either one if we wanted to. Only one of them will get to Phantasm, and we hope for the best that the Lancers can just knock that
This guy
that thing out.
here.
Deploy Teleport Homer and
He's still bumming
engage on all
around.
fronts. Rolled up for the Space Wolves. Could potentially just drop some Inceptors in the back over here and then deploy a Teleport Homer back there, which would be kind of nice. Get a cheeky 5 prime or secondary mission points for that, which would be good because the Anomander hasn't scored on secondaries quite yet. Looks like we're just going to do it with the Wolf Lord, though.
Sounds good.
The Infiltrator will advance. 11.
Yeah, you ever just experience Eldar just happening to you sort of passively? Yeah, I think we just throw things in the wind here. Not looking great for our Space Wolf friends. The power of the Wraith Knight is unstoppable, it feels like. Maybe it will just get killed by Lancers, chat. All right, new plan. Oh, we put Oaths of Moment on the Warp
Make sure he's
Spiders
off the train. I assume you want to be off the train.
Yes,
so that we could
thank
shoot
you.
the Desolators at them and blow them up.
3-inch movement on your decans, right?
New
So
new
outside
pie
of
in the sky.
27.
27 is your mark.
The Wraith Knight forgets to Phantasm, gets one shot by the Gladiator Lancers. We have to kill the Uncarn first. So the Desolators shoot the Uncarn and kill it somehow. And then the Gladiators both shoot the Wraith Knight and blow it up. And then it explodes for D6 and kills this whole Shadow Spectre unit. And then these guys kill this Autarch. That's the pie in the sky. That'll just happen. There's no way that doesn't happen, right, chat?
Mm-hmm. Then the last one we can now drop in.
Yeah, I know
3
Eldar
because
players have a
it's
tough
not
time
overwatch
getting
anymore.
games right now.
Mhm.
I know there's some players in my community
This
and
big circle.
that have
unless
sort
you-
of complained about that
Oh.
because people just don't
Sorry.
want to experience this. It's just against a lot of factions, it's not really
Oh,
worth
no,
like
friends.
rolling out a lot of times because you just have no answer to Phantasm. Some factions can do it, but it's very few and far between. Maybe looking for a spot onto the objective here. I don't think we have one. That Night Spinner's probably blocking it off. Eldar should be forced to play 1300 in 2K. Maybe. They basically play with an extra.
Branches here. Boop, boop, boop.
I would say Phantasm's probably worth like you lose 5 CP, but that 5 CP probably gets you about 1,000 points worth of survivability. Definitely. Because your opponent has to underswing all their weapons. They never get the
Meteor
optimal target,
results.
basically. They always have to shoot the worst thing.
I'm going to pass the time back to you.
Oh, sorry.
You're good. I did it to me, I think, when I was doing the Overwatch, and I forgot to put it back. Sounds
That's
good.
it. What was the last one? Engage on fronts. Wait a second. We need to.
Thing.
This guy needs to be like here. Yes, it's the
Most
good
factions can't
things.
answer Phantasm.
Guys,
Yeah, is the
they
answer,
want
chat.
them that towers.
If you're trying to shoot, if you're trying to get a unit in line of sight to shoot at your opponent's important unit, they'll just move it out of line of sight. If you're trying to engage it in melee, they'll just move it out of charge range. If you are, trying to steal their objectives, they'll just move more things onto the objective. It can only do one thing a turn, but that thing it does every turn can be basically is almost anything essentially. And there are almost no factions that can deal with that. There are a few. Strong indirect fire doesn't care so much about you moving out of line of sight. If you have reactive movement yourself, you can sometimes trigger it or use it to follow up. So Thousand Suns, for example, can do that, and we saw that in the flashback versus Devon game. That was pretty effective. And here we go, right? So we're gonna line up. We got 2 Gladiator Lancers on an unprotected Wraith Knight, and the Wraith Knight's just gonna leave. Just gets out of
I
here.
think that will not do it.
Oh, maybe not.
Which means we will Phantasm with him. 7 inches. Ooh. Right there. Back to you.
This gladiator will unload everything into Yinkan.
Poor Yinkarn. Sounds good.
2 lenses. Both hit. 1 reroll.
Oof.
1 wound.
Blank.
Lost
Lost one shot there.
Try again. There you go. Still pass.
His little gun. The rocket launcher on top. 3 shots. One. I still have a hit reroll. 1 wound. Anti-fly. 2+.
Anti-fly, you got it. She bosses that one too.
And that's 10 small shots. Strength 4 does nothing. Well,
Yeah, the prisms are the same way. It's like you shoot them, and sometimes they just explode something, and sometimes they just do nothing because of pinball saves.
Mm-hmm. This one will shoot the D-cannon here.
You got it.
And all the small... Only we wait with this guy because we have first the Desolator here. So they can only shoot at the spiders. The sergeant will shoot the D-cannon with his big gun. And then we do 4 into the oath and 5 into the not oath.
Sounds good.
Sergeant first. 5 shots.
Oh, he's into it.
2+. Nope. Exploding. And 3+. So toughness.
6. Yeah, I think it's 7, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he got better addition to addition.
Yeah.
These are
AP1, no cover.
So these are 5-up saves. Damage is 2, 2, and 2.
Almost got him.
This was the one in the back or the one in the front?
The one here in the front, this one.
Another one.
Then the 5 on the no oath of the moment target. And then 5 more. Nope. And well, it does 6 wounds.
No AP, no cover, right?
No AP, no cover, yeah.
All right. We'll take on the Exarch first. And we'll end up with 1 wound. That's pretty good.
So I still have 2 wounds. Oh,
The Exarch does, yeah.
And 46 on the oath.
Well, this one seems harder. Taking on the Exarch first.
Oh, look at that
And
save, chat.
That Exarch kind of guy.
3 damage into the Warp Spider shot unit from the entire Desolator shot there. Oh, that is sad.
Then the Lancer will shoot... They don't fly, right?
They do not fly.
The big gun into the support weapon with full life. The...
I'll double check, but I'm pretty sure they don't fly.
And the Warp Spiders, do they fly?
Warp Spiders do not fly, no.
Oh, okay.
The Shadow Specters do fly, however.
Yeah, but they're -1. So the big gun here. The Stubber in this...
No, I tell a lie. Warp Spiders do fly.
Okay, then the anti-fly weapon goes into the Warp Spiders, but it doesn't matter because it's strength 8. Anyways.
Yeah. And the support weapons do not fly. Okay, yep.
We do so. 1 support weapon down here, all the small guns in here, and the big gun in here. So this is the D3 shots, 2 shots, and 10 shots.
Sounds great.
The 10 shots into the... No, first the 2 shots into the full 1. I will reroll that. 2 hits and on 2s. 2 wounds.
I think it just
AP
cleans
4.
up. Yeah.
6 damage at least.
Okay.
So never mind. Then the D3 shots into the other one. 3 shots.
Uh-oh.
1 reroll. 1 hit. 1 wound. AP 1.
This is into the 5 health guy.
Mm-hmm.
Damage D3, right?
Damage 2.
There
Nope.
you go. He's good.
And then 10 shots into the small one. And 5s and 6s. 5 wounds.
Neat. I don't think I have cover. Yeah, it's a clean shot. So I guess I'll roll them one at a time and die instantly. There you go. Do they even explode? I guess I should look this up. Abilities, they do not explode. It just dies.
Mm-hmm. 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 So I spent 1 CP to give these guys ignore cover.
Okay.
Then we have to split some shots.
Okay.
The one guy will shoot at the Orb Spiders
Okay.
and 2 into the Deacons.
You got it.
1 into the Warp Spider.
Trying to get a little bit lucky here. Splitting the fire.
All hit.
These guys are twin linked, so they're actually pretty good against these support weapons, especially because they get sustain 2 on their guns.
Sounds good.
AP1 no cover.
AP1 no cover is going to be 4 ups. Kills a guy. Kills a guy. For damage 1 or 2?
2.
We'll just roll it. Kills a guy. Fix them up.
Oh,
And
very nice.
6
Got the
into
spiders
the-
dead.
These go out. 6 double explode. And 5s. Just to... Oh wait, twin linked.
Yeah,
always
that's
forget
important
that.
to remember.
4 wounds. AP1 no cover.
All right, these are
Damage
5
2.
saves. So boot. Take 2
Yes.
damage.
4
4
damage.
damage. Try again. And 6
Yes.
damage. So kill it.
Oh, got all 3 support weapon platforms.
Mhm.
Big loss for the
And
Eldar.
then, we have the Inceptors here into the
And this should be the
Autark.
Autark getting killed
Mhm.
here, I imagine.
Overcharge is not needed. On
Okay.
3s.
Yeah, the overcharge doesn't do anything here.
And 2s.
Mhm.
4 wounds.
All right.
All right,
pinball
Autark, what do you
saves.
got, buddy?
Takes 2
2
damage
damage.
Yeah,
and 4 damage and dies.
just immediately
4.
die. All right, well, extra CP gone for the Eldar, and that objective is now secure until this Wraith Knight comes stomping over to deal with that unit. Now, the other benefit of the Wraith Knight here is that it is its OC is high enough, and actually, this is one of the reasons I don't really love the OC system. Is because it makes big Death Star units like this maybe too powerful at controlling objectives. But the Wraith Knight actually doesn't have to shoot these Inceptors at all. It can move over, it can shoot at Lancers, it can deal with the targets that can actually kill it, and it can just stand to this objective, and there's no way the Inceptors are ever going to take that objective away from the Wraith Knight. Even if they shoot it down to a quarter wounds and it gets damaged and loses OC value, it's not going to be enough for it to drop substantially in objective control. So
Because this thing is more than OC3.
we did an appreciable amount of damage there, but I think I have a sneaking suspicion both the Gladiators will go down this turn to the Wraith Knight and the Incarn.
Go 24. You're going to have a harder time doing that.
What do we have for secondaries for the Eldar? We did score some secondary points for the Space Wolves. We're on the table for them. And let me tell you something about Anomander. Anomander does not give up in this game, despite the fact that things look very, very bad. He does put his faith in the heart of the dice and or cards,
Why didn't
both
you
of them.
save him with the
Extend battle lines and
Wait.
behind enemy lines for the Eldar. And behind enemy lines is actually a pretty bad draw for them. They're not going to be able to score that one this turn without maybe some very chicanerous fire and fade shenanigans.
Because they must die. That's, I do want to kill gladiators as well, which is a tough world to live in, I'll admit. The last doctrine you can use is...
There are the cards.
Assault.
Assault, and that's advance and charge, right?
Yes.
Gotcha. All right.
Not charging the Lancer into the Incarn with Tank Shock? No, unfortunately, it can't kill her.
So little time.
So there's not really a reason to do it. It costs you a command point.
And no more
and in fact, I think we were out of command points for the Space Wolves at the end of that turn because they were down to 0 because they spent everything supercharging the Inceptors.
Well, Shadow Spectre what they're up to.
So it would just give the Incarn the opportunity to kill you on your own turn and use Fate Dice to do so. So certainly not worth it, unfortunately.
Yes, yes.
A good meme, but
maybe
not great.
Some fire to work on a Gladiator Lancer over here. 36. Yeah, it won't be an issue with range, just line of sight.
Old anime references. What old anime reference did I make?
And then Incarn can work on this Gladiator Lancer.
I think they've just worked themselves into my vocabulary. It's ironic because I loathe anime as an art form, so but there's enough of them that
it's gonna be sad.
I do end up I think they pervade the cultural zeitgeist enough that I just pick them up eventually.
Holding subjective, which requires the Incarn getting busy with other stuff. And I could also toss it, but I'm not really guaranteed on anything else, so I think we'll just hold on with that.
Heart of the Cards. Yeah.
3.
I mean, I guess that's an anime reference. That's just a thing people say now. I don't know. I feel like if you play a game of Magic the Gathering, that just enters your vocabulary as a normal phrase.
These guys, pretty simple. Where's the other ones? Over there. These spiders aren't really up to much. Just mostly just positioning. These specters can help out. Okay. We'll start with our command phase, which is Fortune. Lamo. We Fortune. Tadley can't Fortune that man. He's too far away. But we can Fortune some of these guys. So I'll probably drop Fortune onto these 4 spiders. And then we'll do some moving, which is this Wraith Knight. And as advertised, if he spins his little butt around and puts this part right here, and then he wants to stand like here to have line of sight into those guys, and then also line of sight onto this guy. Shoot. And right there. Range, yeah, should be fine. And with 10 inches of movement, should be good to do that, pretty much exactly. So I'll just pick this guy up, I suppose. These Shadow Specters aren't really up to much. I guess they could be overwatched, but they double explode on 6s, and that's all they do, right?
Yes.
Which is kind of interesting. It's not terrible, but not super special. I suppose we'll probably trigger.
I think Anomander might take that shot if you trigger an Overwatch. You also have to remember that the Desolators do have Overwatch to trigger as well. If those Warp Spiders walk too close, then I think they might get it. Yep, that's inside the bubble of danger.
Not to be chargeable through this wall.
Oh, there you go. All right, fair enough. Saved him.
Random still alive Wolf Lord. Boop. 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 Sounds good. And they're fortunate. And the Night Spinner does not have to do very much. These guys can't be shot outside of 12, right? Or am I thinking of the Scout Snipers?
Sorry, you're thinking of the Scout Snipers. They can be shot.
Okay, well, that's something. I only have 1 CP, but don't know how interesting Overwatch is to you. Could just remain stationary with both. The Farseer also could get grooving. She does not have a lot to do. She could wander decently far. I'm going to fan out my secondary deck real quick to see what's left. Almost everything's left. Yeah.
I think wondering if we need the Farseer in the back corner here to investigate a signal if it gets popped up.
I think she'll just hang out basically so that she could walk here if she wants to.
Bottom Lancer, teleport.
And she does not quite have line of sight to them, so she'll just poke her head up to line of sight.
We could, I mean, you could pay SCP to Tactical Doctrine them,
and then
but that is probably good enough. They do also have a 4+ invulnerable save right now, so they're actually, unironically, not too easy for the Incarn to kill. It does make them move, though, so they lose all their
really not much else
remain stationary benefits. I think the Incarn, I think the attack allocation here is that the Incarn's going to kill this Lancer, the Wraith Knight's probably going to kill this Lancer. We're going to shoot a bunch of stuff over here, and then leave just the Desolator Squad and whatever this stuff is, basically.
So I think that's that. I guess this guy could move. Remaining stationary is nothing for him, but he can shoot every unit on the board from where he stands.
So pairing up, yeah. They're
points.
Also playing against a sort of ironically similar variety of Eldar. This time with a Revenant Titan,
super matters,
which is pretty cool.
Sure, I'll back up just a little bit. Just get through line of sight too. Well, this is obscured, so not that guy. So it would just be these lone guys. Doesn't do much. I think he'll actually pretty much stay where he was. Okay.
Oh, it's score behind enemy lines. Yeah, you're not wrong.
The Wraith Knight will pop his big guns into the Lancer and his little guns into the Inceptors. Big guns, number of shots.
The small gun is AP3, so it's AP2. Because of cover, I can bring it down to AP1. 4 shots with this, right?
It's 2d3. You theoretically wouldn't know what I rolled before you make your decision, but yeah.
No, it is Star Cannons. I'm thinking of our content on the.
That's correct. Star Cannons are 4 shots, AP3.
And here you have AP2 with these guys.
That's correct.
And these guys only can. No, the Farseer. Did the Farseer move?
Yeah, she just peeked out.
Didn't catch that, sorry. Otherwise, maybe overwatched, but I take Arm of Contempt here.
You're using Armor of Contempt, you said?
Yes, down to 0 CP. On the Inceptors, not on the Lancers.
5 shots onto the Lancer. We'll get a bunch of misses, 1 reroll. And we will slow roll this. Blammo.
Yeah, the Space Wolves got tough matchups for sure. They snuck in towards the bottom of the seed, so their seeds weren't amazing. So they got some tough players in the first round.
He's pretty toast. Just hold on real quick, because I could save the 6.
Anomander is a past season champion, and Agent X is a perennial tournament grinder, so I don't want to throw shade at either of them. They're both incredible players, but they got very strong factions in the first round. People really trying to get that W.
Exactly 12.
You just every time, right on the nose. And I don't think his explosion could hurt anyone, so it's not relevant. And then his Star Canones. We've already used our hit reroll. And then we went on 3. We have not used our wound reroll. Blammo. So just 1 save.
With AP1 now, so 4-ups. Yep, saved.
Sounds great. And then over here, the Incarn can only really... I guess you could teleport this thing, but it's not a good idea. Incarn will flame this Lancer. Flameo, hop in. She flames for 5, 6, 7, 8 attacks. 6, 7, 8. Blammo. 1 elf reroll. 2 at AP1. Neat. And then the War Spiders will also flame it. Blammo. 21 shots. Boop, 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 boop. 21. Flemmo. Oh my god. Whoops. Delete. It's 10 mortals? Oh my word. What? Sure. Sorry, I'm just
Easy
stunned by
game,
that.
chat. Must be nice.
I mean, I have a lot of faith in the Incarn to do it on her own, but that's wild. Okay. The Farseer will shoot the Inceptors. Number of shots.
Yeah,
It's
Animator's
2.
win with Logan Grimnir was amazing.
Flemmo gets strength 6.
Season 2
reroll,
Invitational
nothing.
champion over here,
Within 12. She is. She can
Mr.
shoot a
Anomander.
spear.
What an incredible win.
Yeah,
That was such a hype,
Flemmo.
It's
Anti-infantry 2 up.
top 4, I
UAP.
remember. Some ridiculous games.
Neat. And then we'll do a Shadow Spectre unit. We'll shoot those guys. 5 shots. Flemmo. 1 reroll. Like that.
TiVo,
And
thank you for the
Flemmo,
super chat. Flemmo
T5 or
indeed.
6.
We're Flemmoing so
6.
much here.
Wounds on 4s. 1 reroll.
Zach
AP2.
should maybe just rename, like changes his BCP name
Cover,
to
not cover
Blammo.
from the old guys, right?
He's already
They cover their-
Prospero, so
Yeah,
he could be
pretty
Blammo,
sounds
you know.
And then they can scoot 6 inches.
It's basically the same.
Pop. And then these guys will shoot. Flemmo, 1 reroll. And then Blammo, 1 reroll. 4 more saves. And they will scoot. Come back. There you go. And then we have the Night Spinner. And she will shoot this Lord.
All right, what's the counter? What's the oh, Night Spinner shooting the Wolf Lord. That's unfortunate. So going to prevent it from advancing and charging.
99.
Again?
Could flip into a Solid Doctrine and
I
then
don't know
just
how much
go
damage it's going to do, but we'll take
go
it.
go Blammo on the Incarn.
And then 3s. Rerolling everything.
Couple
on 6 because
damage.
You're saving on 2s. And we're looking at 3 saves and 2 mortals.
But not anymore. Now it's going to be slowed down.
2 damage and.
I want to
4
see the
damage.
Gladiator die to the Incarn and then explode.
And
Kill
I
the
think
Warp Spider
we'll
unit.
go
It only needs to roll a 5.
We'll charge with the
So that's
Incarn.
not too
We'll
bad because you took
services.
1 already on the Exarch. And then 6 on the Incarn.
To be enough.
And then Oath the Wraith Knight.
Right there. That's all you need. And then I guess you can charge
Move
all
out the
of
Desolation
those.
Squad and then just full reroll into the Wraith Knight and kill it. That's what I want to see because it's not currently.
You
Um,
need to base me, please.
Oh yeah.
It's
Sorry.
not. It's not
I
currently
was,
going to be protected right now,
I
so
apologize.
could go down. It's not likely,
We'll
but
miss
who
the
knows?
attack.
Unfortunately, we're no longer have the command
Versus
points for Storm of Fire
MS3s.
plus Adaptive Strategy, so we
no.
can't do the full Wombo
Two
combo
84s. I think just cuts
to give them
clean
plus
through
1
them
AP
with
and ignore cover, which is really what you need to do to get through the Wraith Knight. Unfortunately, there goes
it. And then
the
she can go towards this ruin, or not this ruin, this
and
objective. but
the Gladiator's down.
not a great reason to do that. Wouldn't really help much. So I guess she won't. Okay.
Mhm.
That's me. I will score nothing on extend battle line, or not behind enemy lines, but I do get to discard it for CP, and I'll score extend battle lines for 5.
I
My friend,
score 2.
and got my bonus CP.
Defend stronghold on clans.
Not terrible draws.
Defense.
Defense Stronghold's basically an auto win here. If the all right, so we just need to oath this Wraith Knight and kill it, and then declare a cleanse with these guys.
Which looks like boop,
Are we charging?
4, 5, and then I think he rotates. 6, 7, 8.
Oh, Gladiator's
They're
only
not
exposed for
within
3.
one. I don't think it does.
Lame. Lame.
6. Oop,
You're probably not wrong,
can't do
Chad.
that. 7.
Yeah, only D3. I think I have so much PTSD from back when every Primaris vehicle exploded for D6. That was 8th edition. The 8th edition Space Marine Codex is wild, man.
There you go.
But
I think that's 5.
that was everything that was like impulsors Invictor Warsuits, all that stuff blew up for D6. So you would like charge impulsors into your opponent's army and try to get them to explode. You could also command point reroll explosions, so you had two chances at it, and then they would explode for 1 billion damage. Alright, so engage the Inceptors.
That's 9 attacks.
Does force a fallback on the Inceptors, unfortunately. And we only have an Assault Doctrine still in the chamber here, so no flipping into tactical right now. Should be nice.
Carry on.
Oh, it did a damage! Chat! It's happening. It's happening for real. It begins. So where do we put this one command point? Do we fall back and shoot the Inceptors? Unironically, the Inceptors are pretty good into an undefended Wraith Knight. Because they're AP3, it won't get cover. They can shoot in melee, to be fair, though, because they are pistols. And they don't get the penalty, but what they do is impose a penalty on the Desolators. But to be fair, the Desolators might not care, although it does mean that they can't shoot their other weapons into the Wraith Knight.
Get tactical.
So
There's only one Warp Spider on this objective currently. So the pie in the sky... I guess it's impossible for this Wraith Lord to kill the Incarn. Because he doesn't have enough attacks at high enough damage. Actually, he has 8. So if he full converts, he'll kill her. Unlikely. We definitely need to move out the Desolators right now. All the direct fire besides the Shadow Spectres is dead, so the Desolators would just have to deal with those guys. And they do have an invuln save, so they're not immediately going to die to it. I think if the Desolation Squad blows up the Wraith Knight now, is there a chance?
That you control, yeah, I can't.
Something's going on there. There's something. You could just fire the rockets and hope for the best. Give them ignore cover.
Yeah, I'm thinking
and shoot into the Wraith Knight and hope that the 4-ups go your way, and then fire the indirect into the other, into the Shadow Spectres and try to, or the Warp Spiders maybe, and try to pick them off.
because I need some points. No prison.
Oh, there's some guys that could get shot without a line of sight. Seems more doable.
So it looks like we new orders into no prisoners.
Okay, this geese will then just fall back.
Zoom.
And so we didn't Tactical Doctrine, and I don't know where the Oath was placed.
This guy will stay put.
Where did Oath of Moment go?
Oh yeah, Oath of Moment is on the Yinkan.
Oh, okay.
That's good. She's cat.
Your cat's back. Here you go. Oh, yeah. He might get Phantasm now. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what the thought process behind falling back the Inceptors there was. I guess what we don't want is for Zach to draw Overwhelming Force, which I think is still in his deck. Yeah, it is. So those Inceptors leaving the objective is going to be pretty relevant. Oh, Desolators are going up. We're going to try to kill the Incarn. All right. We're going to missile the Incarn to death. Let's go. Well, the Incarn can't keep the point against the Inceptors, Unless they die overcharging or something, because the Incarn's only OC3, and the Inceptors all being on the objective would have held it. I think we're just going to try to kill it. They definitely have a better chance killing the Incarn than they do the Wraith Knight.
We don't need to go that far out.
Yeah, I think we can just Phantasm the Incarn here, unfortunately. He has played around Phantasm pretty well so far, but it's tough to do that every turn, especially once you kill the Autarch, right? You're just like, well, my opponent has to be out of CP at some point, right? No, they've just been stacking. That's the only stratagem they ever use, so... Turns out when your whole army CP rerolls all of its attacks and you get a bunch of free dice, you don't actually have to spend stratagems on anything.
Mm-hmm. Big guns into Yinkan, small guns into the Warp Spiders. Yes.
Okie doke. I will lightning quick the warp spiders.
Mm-hmm.
No Phantasm.
Doesn't matter.
Okay. Well, fair enough.
Because I moved and shoot in there.
Oh, you no longer ignore it, sure. Now, but you have full rolls into the Incarn, so -1 hit does not feel great there. So go for it.
Okay, that's 1 can't seize, 1 is the sergeant, so 7 big guns.
7 bada booms. Hit him with the bada boom.
Bada boom.
7 on force. Full hero roll.
That's all right. Those
A mighty oath.
Oh, they don't explode. We do get 1
6
explosion
exploding.
back. Yeah.
And force. Full reroll.
A mighty oath.
Oh, look at that
one.
wound
Ooh,
roll,
is there
though. 5 wounds going through
Alrighty.
the Incarn. What do you have?
AP at least 2 or 3.
2. AP2, yeah.
Yeah, in cover, though.
Now, it's interesting, but I do think she has cover.
Yeah, because this guy can't see you.
The lone guy, yeah. So
Yeah.
it becomes 3 up saves. Bada boom.
AP2 is
Damage.
badge.
Damage?
Oh, damage. Sorry.
Yeah, you're good.
7.
Woo. So it becomes half down to 4.
Ugh.
Mhm.
Half killer on the
4?
first
Ouch.
hit. That's
And
That's
then
unfortunate.
bada boom.
Oh, we
Bada
got
boom.
whammos, we got blamos, we got bada booms,
Bada
chat.
boom. And I think we'll throw a CP roll on that one. And bada boom.
Oh,
we will
only the
pass
one
last
went
with the big
through.
Just
It's so hard to kill.
Then
Desolators are rough, man.
93.
When they don't have ignore cover, that AP2 really kills them. They have a tough time punching through armor with the missiles. They need the 2 CP combo every turn to really be worth. But when it's worth, oh boy, is it worth.
Plus 9.
Yeah, blast is pretty good.
No battle shock,
On
chat.
force.
It's that's the Oath of the Moment token still. Yeah, not actual battle shock. It's just a
And
cat.
force.
I don't know why they chose to use the battle shock token for Oath of the Moment, but
3 ups.
you know, maybe they wanted it to
These
actually
are
do something.
AP nothing,
Zero. Yep.
but they don't ignore cover anymore, but I can't get cover because it's AP nothing.
Yes.
Sounds good. They will kill 3 guys. That is the Exarch and 1. Oh,
And
not the
the
Exarch,
Sergeant.
but 1, 2, 3 guys total.
Sergeant has 3 shots on 3s. 1 and 3s. No. Well, this doesn't kill a unit. Cool.
Oof.
I do think you have 1 more shot because the blast happens at the same time.
Yeah, I did. I rolled a 2 and then
Oh,
got one plus 1 and rolled 1 hit and no wound.
Gotcha. All right. Fair enough.
Here we have like
2 Vultures of Destiny.
2 bolts of destiny. 2 hits. 1 wound. Haha. Oh wait.
Destiny! Oh,
Oh, just 1 wound, yeah. I forgot oath.
gotcha.
That's my turn. Defense stronghold is gone and no prisoners I didn't achieve. Give me a CP. And now you get 12. I think we can call it a year then.
Sounds reasonable.
Yeah,
Good game, my
sounds
friend.
about right.
I needed
And
to
there's the
get
talk
rid of
out there,
these this
chat.
turn
That's
to
unfortunate.
even stay in the game. Yeah, that
Real
I
no
needed
answer to the
go
Wraith Knight
first
here.
in this matchup, and the
One
28
versus a
mortals
huge deal. Yeah.
wasn't helpful.
Yeah, that is unlucky. I mean, the sixes are so random. Like you saw, like here, he just like housed the whole unit, and over here, he killed one guy.
And if this was happened here, like kill 1 or 2,
Yeah.
then I would have ignored your complete army and just try to kill the Jinkan
Yeah.
with
Yeah,
Oath
well,
and Advance in charge.
The Night Spinner was on deck to give them -2 advance, but to like buy me a turn, I think. But I don't think they'll buy me more than that.
Yeah.
And they might still make the charge. I mean, that's not.
Yeah, they got the D6 move then from the battle leader plus the charge.
Yeah, the D6 move.
Uh,
Yeah, I got it.
uh,
Yeah. Good old Wraith Knight. Can always be relied
Well, good
upon.
game to both these players. Congratulations to Zach for taking this one down. If anybody has any questions for the players, go ahead and throw them in chat. Animator might go to bed here, though, because he's,
Thank you.
I think it's about
against
almost 3 a.m. for him, which is a little bit, a little wild.
20 plus skill against the Necrons.
Yeah. It's an Eldar and GSC world, and we just live in it. That said, though, the GSC got housed in both of them. That's still shocking to me.
GSC is a good matchup.
Yeah, that's hard to do.
Yeah, it is interesting that it seems like GSR Cult is, it has the potential to be built around, but because they less options for moving than Eldar.
Yes. It's kind of a weird matchup situation because I feel like GSC specifically can really match well into Eldar because like Phantasm is helpful, but if you're deep striking everything with 3 inches away, you can't really use it to just blank hole armies like you can with traditional armies. And you end up with this weird rock paper scissors thing where like I think Space Marines have a really hard time against Phantasm, but GSC have a harder time I think against Space Marines. So it gets like very strange.
Yeah, definitely. That does seem like the paradigm for sure. Well, good game to both you guys. Zach, congratulations on taking it down. It was a good show from the Space Wolves, but they need the OG Armor of Contempt that gives a feel no pain against mortal wounds back.
That would not suck.
Would have been nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I needed my new army for that in this matchup.
Mm-hmm.
My Dark Angels.
Ooh,
Black Knights.
Angels is fun.
Oh yeah. There you go.
Any cues?
Not so much. Nothing so far. People are just we're just gawking at this Wraith Knight over here, just doing whatever it wants.
Yeah, I mean he does a lot of damage and he doesn't die.
Sure doesn't die. Yep.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
definitely the case.
Yeah, I think between TTS and real life, he's on I think 9 games now where he's just never died, never went below half.
He took a wound, so
He took a wound. Yeah, that's I
something.
think more than last time.
Yeah, that's pretty good in melee even.
Yeah, how embarrassing.
How embarrassing. All right, well, thank
If
you
you're a
guys.
man-
Anomander, we'll let you go to sleep.
Good night.
No, it must be rough over there. But thanks, guys, for just for scheduling the game. Glad we could sneak it in. And
Yeah,
hope
thanks
you guys
for
have a
being
good evening.
Yeah, you too.
All right, chat. That's going to be it for us today. Thank you so much for watching. Before we sign things out, do want to give a shout out to our sponsors once again, Delta Studios, where you can use code TACTICAL10 to get 10% off a bunch of cool props and stuff, including some life-size 40k props. GameMat.eu, where you can get tabletop terrain and mats. The Magnet Baron, you can get kits for your magnetization of 40k models or a wide variety of magnets just by themselves. If you just like playing with magnets, the Magnet Baron's got you covered. And last but certainly not least, 3D6 Wargaming, which has a bunch of super cool objective markers, objective templates, and terrain templates, all laser cut in beautifully printed neoprene. Fred lost his Wraith Knight turn 2. He let 12 obliterators shoot at it. Yeah, that seems like something you could just phantasm your way out of, but I don't know. I'm not an expert, for sure. I do think some people see the defensive stat line and go, it will survive. But really, everything in 40k eventually dies. You can't always win. You can't always pass your saves. It does oftentimes save on 4s, and half of those go through, and then those turn into damage, and it only has 18. It has lower than the other big knights, so it will go down eventually. But certainly not easy to kill. Yeah. I think, again, showcasing the power of Phantasm. Zach, probably one of the best uses of the stratagem that we've seen, but it's definitely, I think, probably an issue when it comes to the health of the game. Hopefully we see an update to it soon. We are expecting an errata this week, but I don't know if it will hit any balance stuff like that. Who knows? We'll find out later. But until then, thanks everyone for hanging out with me. I will be live tomorrow on Twitch. We'll play some games. Actually, no, I won't. Just kidding. I lied to you. I lied directly to your faces. I'm going to be live here because it is the last game of the round of 16. Salad versus Broku is happening tomorrow evening, 8 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. So please come check that one out. And we'll see all of the players who get into the round of 8. So I'll see you then. Cheers, everyone. And remember to keep it classy.